used for checkmate not connecting. Is Hanbin here? Doing a lot of cleave.
A lot of support coming through from Fielder as well. Hanbin will get himself the double support line. That's going to be free time on the payload once they get rid of Junbin as well. Lip's going to be the next target. Zap him away from spawn. Easy money for Hanbin there, but Junbin's trading on the opposite backline. Junbin needs to go down if they want to move this payload forward.
Jumping here, just being such a menace. I mean, you see the power that wins it. Hanbin going to have to primal as well, because that pulse. Not able to use it too effectively here, but still getting good damage.
Hold off the map. Looking for it.
He got him.
Vigilante gone, and Chio is trying to fire away Hanbin. With the save on the teammate Chio, punch to the face. Lip is out of the map. With that, maybe they can cap as well. Just a few meters remaining. Only he's saying with a potential touch, and he doesn't go for it because his team is not there. Falcons unlikely to match the 151, but Falcons have at least given themselves the opportunity to finish at all, which is important.
And that cart getting far enough to where Chio could get the value there out of the ult, and you just see how strong that mobility is for the Jetpack Cat. Chio just dodging all those shots. His Lip, like you said, onto the cast. Rush is available here, no support ults up for Crazy Raccoon, and despite the primal, they should have the sustain to stay alive. Falcons moving this point here a little bit forward and trying to fight here for this high ground on this Mega Pack. Ooh,
taking a lot of damage. Crazy Raccoon waiting for ultimates to come online. First one is going to be the Primal Rage. It might have to be used sooner rather than later, considering how fight is moving so rapidly in Falcon's favor. Reaching towards the end now. Junbin low HP. He'll be forced to pop if he's not careful here, but would really want to save it if possible. Pressure's on though, because Hanbin is in his face. Crazy Raccoon potentially one last reconsolidation here, fighting now into the Kitsune Rush. Vigilante still 20 away from the Nano Boost, needs it to save the rest of his team. Carried into the sky, High Noon, Deadeye looking for targets. Everyone is shielded or inside spawn, but you're right, touch needs to be contested as well. 4 seconds left, pulled off the map. That's Junbin. I think he's gonna fly. Chio's killed himself. Junbin saves his own life. Nano available.
Nano's up, the spawns here pretty good here for Crazy Raccoon. They still have the anchor point right now. Hanbin being the anchor on the point. Tron gets the Nano as well, just trying to keep the fight alive. The Primal gonna be invested. They're hoping they can clean up. They're hoping they know they can keep the pressure here on the point, Avril.
Checkmate, it's Chio. Junbin is out of the map. He's out of bounds. Hanbin with the Primal pushes Junbin away, and Lip dead-eyeing out of spawn. He's not going to see anybody. And Falcons, they will get the cap. Chio even just trying his best to drag Junbin away, eventually forcing the Primal at the cost of Chio's own life. Even with Chio down, the rest of Falcons able to rally together on for a final push, getting rid of what seems like at times raid boss Junbin. When they finally do, they get the cap, and Hanbin redeeming himself a little bit here as well. See some of the highlights involving him getting those kills, diving on inside the shuttle. Merit, of course, getting these 2 picks towards the end. Really important for Falcon's journey to getting the capture.
And the Han Vincent here starting to pay a few more dividends as well. And I really love, I mean, there's one thing to say about Hanbin. Even if at times maybe his mechanics on, you know, for example, Winston compared to Junbin might not be the greatest, but pressuring the point so effectively there, constantly put himself in a position where they know they have to have someone anchoring, and Falcon's just using that win condition there to force someone to be there all the time, whether it be typically it was a support player, Chorong. So Falcon's playing the positioning, playing the push so well for that final fight. And now it's an extremely winnable spot here for Falcons. Sure, only they have less time bank, but this is a payload map. This is a map where you have one good fight, you can keep it rolling for a while.
Starting on the cat now. I think Chio, again, he understands what to do here. Even if all he does is carry Merit around, well, he needs to do a little bit more of that. Then maybe Merit can carry the day for Falcons. There's not a lot of time here, remember. Just the 1 minute on the clock for Falcons and an instant reset. Mind you, Heesang is also on Torb for extra defensive power. Crazy Raccoon is just fully locked into a full hold on A. With 30 seconds remaining, Hanbin even deciding to go for the Zarya.
I love the swap. I think the swap is good. I think the swap is really good here. Yes, Torb very strong in the Winston, but you have some options here to duel now. Without being on the Sojourn means he's much easier to find, in particular because with the Illari, with Torb being on Illari, they just don't have as much mobility. So I like the swaps here for Falcons. It's very heads up.
He took too much damage. Wasn't enough healing. There's no Ana to Bionade or put in the clutch healing in time. It's Vigilante and Choron playing this Illari BAP, and it just wasn't enough. I don't know whether the Immortality Field might have already been used earlier. But Junbin having his life taken away means Falcons get to walk up for free now for the time being. Final fight. Junbin is looking to have the Primal available. But Hanbin slowly charging up his energy. Chio gone is a big problem for Falcons. 4v5. Will have to wait for respawns, but there's not going to be time for that lip. He's got the cleanup involved, and the payload will stop around the middle, I believe, of the point. Did it even get out of the car wash? I don't think so.
No,
it's in the middle of the car wash.
And Falcons, I mean, they, again, got a little greedy, Admiral, where they saw, they're like, okay, we have a TP opportunity to get to that blue box, to go fight.
Okay, they did get out of the car wash.
Okay, just barely. So that is a win, but I mean, with 2 minutes on the bank here, there's plenty of time for Crazy Raccoon. But I really feel like the crux of the problem there for Falcons is that the swaps were good. They just overcommitted again for the blue box, got caught by the turrets, got caught by the damage, Jumpin makes it back. And so they just mistimed that approach because they had a really good position there. So now Falcons are going to be searching for answers here to just hold fully. It's doable, 2 minutes. I mean, it's a lot of time, but you see, just to get the cart that far often, even if you're winning the fight pretty decisively, it's going to be about a minute or so, as long as you put up a bit of a defense.
Even Checkmate is going for the Torbit. I mean, he's a Torb, hero specialist for sure, but you can go for another server hold. Here's the real genius thing, is the fact that they've even pushed as far as just outside the server room means as long as they can hold that position, it is possible for them to win just on that room alone, because the payload has reached that spot. They can contest that as long as they keep their eye on it, unlike what happened in regulation time where Heesang kind of stole it away from them. Turret spot on the wall at the beginning. The Falcons have one shot here because Crazy Raccoon have more than double the amount of time. Crazy Raccoon can afford 1 or 2 extra resets. Falcons can afford no mistakes.
You can see this Torb just doing a bit of poke. They have to keep an eye on Jumpin and Lip. Looking to set up the engage here. Lip playing these long angles, which is a bit of the advantage here for the Sojourn compared to the cast. And they're going to give up a bit of space now, just trying to respect this Ana, Winston, Merritt. Up on the high ground,
there's a
pressure.
headshot!
Very low.
They're nearly going down there. That would have been pivotal. Payload is moving, and by the way, once again, Crazy Raccoon, they're just so effective at taking the high ground. Falcons, they can't hold the space, and Vigilante continuing to hit these headshots, just pulling the damage, and even if he's not getting the kills, he's getting damage to charge up his ult, but the nano boost is in major win condition.
Oh, and Chio there follows up off the damage. Chio on the jetpack hat. Just using that mobility. Gonna go try to pocket Checkmate here as well. Chio gonna go down for it, but Checkmate needs to find some more value. Needs to get more, but they're also gonna have the Suzu, the cleanse there from Chorong. Still, Merritt.
Fielder again!
Oh my goodness. Fielder.
Double kill from Fielder has saved the day. Merritt gets the last shot of the Jumbin. That could have gone disastrously. Few numbers alive for both teams, I believe. It went down to about a 3v3. This check will come back on a sim now, just for a little bit of speed. Putting up those turrets around the eggs of the car wash as well. Waiting on that nano
still. The rush advantage here. The rush advantage here is so crucial right now. It's going to be a nano versus a rush situation for Falcons, where maybe they can find Vigilante a bit early here, using that rush, because Vigilante, once the nano's up, I mean, they're going to have to look for the spread, jump in to get a bit of damage.
20 seconds, this is final fight. All the ultimates here is going to count. Chorong being 31% behind might be the difference maker if he doesn't survive here as well. By the way, the combo is ready to play through. Tether onto Merritt, fly him into the sky. Fly, Falcons, fly. Let's see what the High Noon delivers. Nothing so far, because Crazy Crew simply hide away. And now Jumbin is his turn to strike. Suzu possibly a little bit early there. Continue to rush Hughes. Chorong left one thing, still 16 away. Chio trying to drag somebody off the map. Unsuccessful. Vigilante Nano onto left, putting the carry power into him. Takes Fielder down. Overclock available, but he's 1 HP. If Lip dies here, it could be problematic. Lip is really low, and Harvin wants him. He wants him extremely bad. Finds the Mega Pack. Harvin returns. Checkmate gets Jumbin down though. Crazy Crew, only 2 players left. Heesang and Lip, and they gotta get the carry done. They can't. Checkmate gets Heesang. Harvin gets Lip, and Falcons get map 4.
The Han Binston is here. It's Stain. And again, another story of this tournament too. Chio on the jetpack pad, making full use of the mobility of this new hero. Able to find some extremely crucial limbs there. Keeping pressure where they need, putting Merritt in positions where they have to commit resources to just remove him from that blue box there, from that high ground before the fight even began. And really Falcons showing the mettle again of this team, back against the wall, and just some very smart comp swaps.
It feels like the opposite of what we saw on Blizzard World, right? A very similar story. One team looking far more comfortable, the other team looking lost at times. but then when it really counts, you get to the end of the map, and crucially, the tables turn on Blizzard World. Mistakes made by Falcons, capitalized on by Crazy Raccoon to win that map, and now on Blizzard World, you start things out. A far better general game coming through from Crazy Raccoon. Better composition as well. Hanbin looking a little bit lost, being forced to go to Winston, something he's not fully confident on, fully comfortable on. Diva ban away, a brilliant ban coming through from the coaching staff of Crazy Raccoon. What should have been a perfect map for Crazy Raccoon to secure the series 3-1 has now been turned into a 2-2 tied up series. And that man on your screen that you saw just several seconds ago, Fielder, did more than enough work to deliver that one for Falcons, and we'll see how map 5 goes right after this.
거점할게. 무시할게.
트레 건져 트레
아, 나 죽어, 나 죽어.
땅피
예, 가보자! 윈스턴, 가보자!
Crazy Raccoon Falcons number 28 delivering once again with a map 5 giga banger going the entire distance, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You are watching OWCS Bootcamp. This is the first match of our final day of proceedings here. Semi-finals time. Someone subbed in. Junbin looking like he's still in the current lineup. Map 5, Domina required, and no hero bans.
Now this is very risky. This is a risky move here, Avril. I mean, bringing in a player at a map 5, potential reverse sweep, has had no warm-up. You know, no other maps played so far in the series, wasn't even played at all yesterday. And, I mean, looking at this, you're expecting, obviously, to see some dive tanks played in particular. And remember,
it has to be Domina.
It has to be Domina, right? So, I mean, that's even more interesting, too, considering the fact that Hanbin's been playing Domina for this team. So the more I think about it, I'm like, what is this?
Hanbin's looked insane on Domina as well. It's not even just he's played it. Remember what he did on Blizzard World on that first point was beautiful stuff. So, you're right. I mean, look, someone who's been a staple on this roster since last year, a former 2023 world champion in his own right. Of course, I said everybody on Falcons is a former world champion of some kind. But bringing in a player cold for map 5 to clutch out and win the final map, I mean, that is a lot of pressure for any substitute to handle.
And it is going to be Lijiang Tower here. And remember, as we were talking about earlier, final stipulation rule set here. We have a rule for the first and the final map, / decider map of the series if we get there, which is, first map we have to play all 5 of the new heroes that were added. The final map you must play Domina. And that's the current head scratcher with someone coming in, is that someone's going to be playing the Domina here for Falcons with no warm-up and really no other time seen in the tournament here in Boot Camp. So a bit of an unknown factor. And someone is a player that we've seen show a lot of flexibility. It was very crucial to the 2023 championship for Mayhem, having that extra flexibility in his back pocket, but has been struggling to kind of find his footing a bit at times, reach those highs recently in the OWCS.
You look over the other side as well. I mean, Max has barely played this entire series. It's a different look for Crazy Raccoon, who up until this point looked like they were heavily dependent on Max to take them through an off-tank dominated meta. We're going to end this one out the old-fashioned way. Both your main tanks, and I suppose the hero pools don't matter anymore because you have to play Domina both sides. We have seen Junbin play Domina. We haven't seen someone like a Ham on the Falcon side play it just yet. Now you have 3 of the former Florida Mayhem core all lined up. Left to right, Merit, Checkmate, and someone. The 2023 Dallas Field Championship backline and Field It, and Chio trying to make their way into this map 5 reverse sweep, by the way, if it does come true.
Really, this team, I mean, everything on the line here. Final map of the series. Someone in a bit of a mystery substitute. And here in the El Clasico, Crazy Raccoon versus Falcons. And I mean, just about anything can happen at this point with someone coming in, because this is something that I definitely did not expect here for this final map.
Lijiang Tower is where it all ends for our 2 teams in the semi-finals. Winner moves on to grand finals, loser goes home. They won't have to go far because we are here in Seoul for Seoul OWCS Boot Camp. Let's get into it.
Passion's there. Also, just a quick fun stat, by the way. The Junbin Earth Shatter in our first map, or rather in the Esperanza, 59 seconds to build that first shatter. Then the AKM Blade, the famous AKM Blade. So a very funny little stat line. 59 seconds exactly. Longer.
Oh, longer than the AKM. Yeah, I think it was like over 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Only half the map. By the way, look at these team compositions right now. As someone takes on Junbin. There you go. Welcome into Boot Camp, someone. Notice that both players are in Cat. Cat is not required here. Only the Dominant is required. So both teams opting to play Jetpack Cat, and Chio, of course, has been the better looking one so far. Compared to Chorong, who hasn't had as much time in these officials that we've seen. He's mostly favored with Lucio or maybe the Wuyang.
First cap going away for Falcons.
Notice that Merit's also staying on the cast here as well. Like, he's not opting to go into the Sojin here.
No, I mean, Merit really favors that cast, loves having just the ability to crawl it out, I think, at times, and have those, not worried about the rails, just taking those consistent headshot taps here at times.
Maybe
And I like the cat pick
as well.
Yeah, I like the cat pick as well, because you have environmental hazards. You have a lot of environmental hazards for a map like Dijon as well. So cat can put a lot of value.
The combo is nearly online now. Merit's just about there. Chio's, in fact, just going to go for pull-off straight away. Chorong's already marking him. In fact, Chorong's done more than mark him. Chorong's taking down Chio in the middle of that entire play. But guess what? While Jinbin was gone, Falcons were trying to take down the rest of the Crazy Raccoon line. However, with someone falling, numbers in favor of Crazy Raccoon. Chio thought he had a play onto Crazy Raccoon and may have just gone a little bit too deep onto that one, because he could have just played it safe, offered up into Merit Deadeye instead for the Cat City combo, but decides to try and go for a drag off, knowing that Chorong could just save Jinbin anyway.
And so many, the top teams now in particular are so aware of the jetpack. Oh, wait, what is this? You see Chorong harassing Chio here, going for this lifeline, going for the tether on the angle. Chio already pretty low, but Chio instead gonna take down Chorong, just saying, actually, never mind. That's not gonna work out for you.
Yeah, let me deliver this package off of the doorstep and then shake the dog, aka cat, off my leg. This Jinbin is gonna come on in, despite all of Chio's heroics. It will still be Crazy Raccoon, looking like they largely have control here, but no, Falcons. All plays alive. It's actually someone, rather. It wasn't sure, it was someone. Now using Panopticon. Falcons staying alive, and Cat will be going over very shortly, you'd imagine.
Some last-minute heroics there from Crazy Raccoon, forcing the Panopticon to come up from someone. Really, that fight was looking relatively won off that early pick, but Heesing just keeping a lot of pressure there on the point. As now Crazy Raccoon looking to get back in. Team Falcons 50% on the bank already.
Someone low. Be careful with that one. No support opens for Falcons, and Jinbin will claim someone's life very quickly. Falcons, yep, nothing else to talk about here. Chorong dragging Fielder off the map, dragging himself off the map, but it doesn't matter. You'll get the full cleanup here. And a fast flip. Crazy Raccoon do trail in percentage, but they're catching up.
Very funny idea of that catnap, or that ult there for the jetpack cat to be almost like a Reinhardt pin off the map, just to guarantee the elim in this situation, which is one of the few ways you can guarantee it to get someone that has a lot of mobility like a fellow jetpack cat. As now Falcons looking to recontest. Chio just poking around, and Chio and Chorong just having a lot of aerial battles right now. No one wants to give the free space, the free angles here as they get into this entry, and the Sundering Blade going to be up for checkmate.
Some around, there's not exactly any shields trying to counter here, although just typically quite good. Lip and Merit, the hit scans, both teams going down, but checkmate has got to slice through Jinbin. That'll give a big advantage over. Both the cats are going to end up going off the map. There's only Heesang available now, and it won't be enough. Falcons, just as quickly as Crazy Raccoon got their first with Falcons strike back.
And you see this multi-pronged pressure happening in the backline too, where they're sending Chio, they're sending checkmate, or potentially even one of the other DPS into this back just to force Crazy Raccoon to turn around. And now they have those picks. Chio even taking Chorong off the map there, obviously, as the off angle here for Blip. Overclock gonna be available, just trying to play off to the side around the shield. Someone goes down.
Early big damage. Remember, despite the shielding coming through from the Dominant, you can break the pieces, and once those pieces are broken, small parts of the shield is available for Lip to just get these kills and get the damage in there. You talk about the stagger also. Merit caught out, nowhere to run. 98%, and I think the point is gone. Crazy Raccoon off the back of Lip overclocked and allowing Crazy Raccoon to push into Falcon's spawn. Means Falcons are not even going to get the chance to contest. 100 to 98, a close scoreline and percentage points for our opening round.
And you can really see the value of both these backlines, just how mobile they are. I mean, you had Lucio Kiriko, you want to talk about a mobile backline. Then you had Cat Kiriko. It's just almost infinite mobility in terms of the off angles being taken, the now vertical angles being taken as well from the jetpack cats. And you just look at these teams and you see across the board a relatively equal matchup. Obviously, Crazy Raccoon taking the first round. He's saying having a pretty good performance so far.
Yeah, 10-1.
Falcons maybe going to play the sim. Yeah, 10-1. Very, very good stat line.
I think the sim is just going to be for TP purposes. Checkmate going back over towards nothing. He has got to stay on the sim. I thought maybe he would think about the Vendetta or perhaps the Tracer, but tried and true. Checkmate, he is the sim player. Opening stun from Jinbin is going to catch a double. He's saying going to go for the fire. That's what we're talking about. He's a specialist as well. Sometimes bringing out those flyers. So we're playing the coastline. Watch out for that.
And I think Falcons acknowledging this comp choice already and trying to play super aggressively here in the White Room, because they know that they're playing Lucio Kiriko. They don't have any flyers with the sim. They want to just take very aggressive fights, since he's saying he's going to have to play the off angles. But he's saying
Someone-
coming in, putting a lot of damage.
Oh, big damage. Rocket connecting. Someone gone. Falcons down to 4. They're at low HP as well, and this is looking done. Crazy Raccoon, no one even dropping their lives here as Falcons are routed on fight number 1. It's map 5, match point here with Crazy Raccoon already taking round 1 and now taking the first fight of round 2.
Chio here, making the swap over to Jetpack Hat, and Checkmate goes Tracer. So they're going to have a little bit more options here to potentially pepper. He's saying here, pepper Chorong. And you see someone being taken along the map, but Chorong's there. Chorong's going to be watching for this. Going to have a little bit of support. They want to take this Mega Pack and start pressuring the point.
Chorong's gonna go ult here as well. Chio hasn't done a lot of damage or healing this time around, and Chorong's just getting away with it. Speaking of getting away with it, another rocket flying true. Checkmate finds out, freshly swapping on the Tracer. The low HP, someone is actually going to find the Magnetron in the Heat. Let's look at the first couple of kills coming through for Falcons so far. They need a couple more as Jumbin wants to Panopticon save this fight, and might just be able to do so. Looking like a bit of a clutch move from Jumbin.
And really good finds there from Crazy Raccoon, where Team Falcons, they were pressuring the point so heavily here. They need to get out now. And I love the off angles. It was a really good use of the E there from Chio as well. Does a bit of the damage, also gets the knockback, but 50% already for Crazy Raccoon. What is
Merritt
that?
swapped off at 99%. He gave up the Deadeye entirely. They're not even going to go for the combo anymore because I think he realizes he's just getting completely pressured out. Needs some of the slice and needs some of the rail burst shots to take down Crazy Raccoon members.
Especially because the off angles are just so incredibly strong here. It's okay, Chio chasing out Vigilante, gonna get taken down in return here. Rush used on point.
Canap. Chio's not there for the save. Chorong, the Fielder again! My goodness, Fielder has been so magical these last few maps. Chio might not have been there for the save, but certainly Fielder will be, and now someone empowered, taking Jumbin down. Fielder for his trouble is going to go down to Lip. However, Falcons have finally flipped the point.
Lip here, or rather he's saying just playing off on the flanks, trying to pressure. Chio wants to bring it back, Fielder, bring it back. Someone that's been so consistent for this team, getting an incredible amount of limbs. Checkmate here, trying to do a little duel with Chorong.
Lip wants action, he wants to go for Merritt, and Merritt's down to Chorong. A little bit of an alley-oop play, the setup is perfect, but Chio gets a bit of revenge. Still 3 versus 4 though. Vigilante pops the ult, the Falcons can't do much about it, which means Crazy Raccoon will win the fight, get the flip, and now force us into final fight territory. Crazy Raccoon on the warpath for a victory here, and Falcons, they need something desperate now.
Pulse is up for Checkmate, not too far away from the overclock, but they have to be worried about the
Fix
Panopticon. Oh, beautiful Suzu from Fielder, but now no Suzu here coming to this fight. Panopticon for Junbin, and so much of this on someone to try to mitigate the value of the Panopticon. Just have the shields. It's only going to catch one. It's only going to be someone the best possible pick there.
Merritt, he goes down, 97%, he needed that. Merritt goes down, Falcons are falling apart, 3 dead. Someone to follow through, only Checkmate 1 versus 5, and he's not going to be able to do it. Crazy Raccoon, Jumbin coming in, massive Panopticon, huge kill onto Merritt, and despite all of the shenanigans that happened on this map and the last, the Reinhardt and Esperanza, Crazy Raccoon end up delivering on map 5 when it counts.
Crazy Raccoon showing just the flexibility of this squad. It seems like they brought back, they've learned a lot from the first day. And Falcons put up an incredible fight there, but I mean, you just can't count this team out. And again, we're here at the El Clasico. The meta looks strong for Falcons. Falcons even had a heroic effort to bring back, and Crazy Raccoon again triumphing at the LAN event, at the international event. I mean, it's just insane how much Crazy Raccoon has this team's number. And really just the amount of talent on the squad across the board.
With that victory, Crazy Raccoon extend their head-to-head record from 9-18 to now 19 wins in favor of Crazy Raccoon to 9 for Falcons. As Crazy Raccoon Falcons number 28 goes the way of Crazy Raccoons, sending them into the grand finals. Ignore those predictions, please. Of the WCS boot camp. And honestly, Falcons, I'll be real with you, they look like they have the momentum going to the final map, but an interesting late map 5 substitution, questionable. I'm not going to say it's someone's fault, however, at that point in time, I don't know if it was the right choice to substitute Harbin out of the lineup when he was doing so well. Speaking of players doing well, Avast, Lip, solid as ever.
Lip, I mean, a dominant playmaker for this team, dominant in his career. You put him on the hit scan and he makes things happen, and he did for this series. Lip just opened up the fights over and over and over again. even when there were moments where it looked potentially lost for Crazy Raccoon, he just brings it back. And he's just such a star player in general, such a piece of star power for this team that brings Crazy Raccoon back to the brink so often.
The winningest player of all time, when you look at his Wikipedia record and all the W's in there, all the gold medals, all the first places. No other active Overwatch professional with this length of career has had as many wins and as many titles as Lip has, and now he's looking for one more title to add to the list, or boot camp.
WCS 부트캠프 마지막 날, 안녕하세요. 아나운서 이시은입니다. 오늘 준비된 첫 번째 경기부터 쉽지 않았죠. 크레이지 라쿤이 승리를 가져갑니다. 승리 축하드립니다.
네,
승리 축하드립니다. 오늘의 POTM은
congratulating Lip on his victory here.
25번째
Big Map 5 win.
매치라고 들었습니다. 하지만 시즌 1호 라팔전 당당히 승리를 거머쥐는 크레이지 라쿤인데요. 오늘 경기 좀 오랜만에 라팔전이었잖아요. 소감 한마디 들어볼까요?
And this first question is, you have confidently won the 25th Falcon match in this matchup against each other. Please tell us how you feel about beating Falcons here again in the matchup.
오랜만에 만난 만큼 좀 더 재밌었다라고도 말씀해
25th
주셨는데
because as Crazy Raccoon, but I also included when they were whack as well, because the same team typically, but
They've never been whack,
28th.
okay? They've always been cool. They've always been cool. But the answer to that question is, it's been a while, but we've met so many people. And by this view, I think he's referring to Falcons as a team. We played against them so often that we always have fun playing them. And, you know, they know they get challenged, and it's great to meet them here in a matchup. And then follow-up question there for Lip. How did you end up playing the Reinhardt for Esperanza? So referring to when Junbin played Reinhardt and charged his first shatter within 4 minutes and 44 seconds on that map, which was longer than the AKM Blade. And Lip says, I just remembered during that match, we remembered as a team that we weren't feeling that well, so we wanted to practice a bit more. We wanted to so I guess lately admitting, or perhaps outright admitting that perhaps it was a bit of a throw from him, tongue in cheek. But that with the Esperanza pick there with Junbin on Reinhardt. Next question, what are your thoughts on Domina? How she's affected the
립 선수의
And Lip's saying
승부의
the
지표도
gun.
한번 들어볼까요?
Bit of a tricky one to use, a bit of an interesting mechanic, but I think that we started to master to get the hang of it.
투마가
Time
정배긴
on.
한데 저는 리퀴드 3대2로 하겠습니다.
역배리.
And then final question, Twisted
알겠습니다.
Minds
저랑
versus
반대네요.
Liquid. Who do you think will
그렇다면
win?
다음 매치
He's saying
기대해
Team
주시죠.
Liquid.
한 매치가
Team
다가옵니다.
Liquid winning
트위스트
3-2,
마인드와
map
팀
5
리퀴드가 기다리고 있습니다.
versus Twisted Minds.
might be a little bit of hopefulness coming through here. They want Liquid to win because they don't necessarily want to fight TM again, or do they? First of all, TM and Liquid have to fight out next match. Find out who wins after this.
도미나 이러고 도미나 쳐줘. 됐고 딜라인 노래 템포 무시할게. 필 고양이 피크 슈퍼 보면 이겨. 야미. 에이 야하. 그래 온다. 일부러 이거 재밌게 하려고 일부러 오신 거지.
나 몰카인데 재밌지?
몰카인데.
a shooting star!
Do your worst, or I will.
Oh! Feeling better yet? We'll show them a trick or two. Let the Kitsune guide you! Supernova ready! Greetings, Earthlings! Come closer. I won't bite.
Boom! I'm feeling it!
Prove your skill.
I'm in the mood!
Be uplifted. Incredibile.
Victory is at hand.
Now we're in orbit. Nice try.
F it up!
Magnifique. How do I look? Oh,
Oh, yes. Yeah. All right.
The world has changed. A new enemy has risen.
The power of Talon, now under my control.
This is a fight we cannot lose.
The war is here.
Let's fight fire with fire. My training is over. Who wants to feel the heat? I do enjoy a hostile takeover.
Time to show them what we're made of.
Can't live without me? I'm getting into this.
Anyone can make a difference.
The choice is yours. Resistance is pointless. Talon is everywhere.
Your divine support has arrived. I have landed among the stars! Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Victory
Will be ours!
Up. You can't break free. Where are you going?
Domina has arrived.
Got you covered. Good shot, right?
Enemies coming in hot. Can someone heal me? Damn it!
Disgraceful.
Rise from the ashes!
Cámara!
Feeling warm yet?
ball.
Too easy.
Who's a pretty kitty? You are.
Semi-finals number 2 heating up now for the preseason boot camp of the 2026 OWCS season. I'm Avril here with a vast coming through for match number 2. Twisted Minds versus Team Liquid, defending world champions from EMEA versus the best in North America in Team Liquid.
And this is the long-awaited NA versus EMEA matchup that everyone wants to see at every event for Overwatch. We've had the El Clasico. Now it is time for perhaps El Clasico 2 in terms of the fact that NA versus EMEA, which everyone loves to see.
These two teams have never played.
No, but I'm calling it I'm gonna anoint it El Clasico in spirit just because it's North America versus EMEA. But maybe we can start tradition now.
It's El Regional code because the two regions have this rivalry always, which is quite fun.
It is. It is extremely fun. I mean, Twisted Minds obviously coming off a world championship in 2025, and Team Liquid looking to have a bit of a better, I think, run deep in the tournaments comparatively, especially at the end of last year. And this team has a lot of potential. We saw them play, both these squads play earlier, and they've looked great in Avril. I mean, it's gonna be likely a banger, I hope. I mean, we went into Falcons Crazy Raccoon thinking like, oh, Falcons got the clear advantage here. Now look at this. It's like, well, this should be a bit more contested, and I'm hoping we don't get surprised.
Wait, T1, we got crushed by Twisted Minds yesterday. Virtus Pro started to pick up a little bit of a fight versus Liquid. Liquid strike back so hard. As you can see, the preparation on Liquid in their Powerful Vendetta play was amazing. However, we've also seen incredible Vendetta play out of plays like Zest on T1, and Twisted Minds were able to handle that. So Zera on Team Liquid has his work cut out for him. You have the best of both regions coming into this matchup where really no excuses here. EMEA have their number 1 team, NA have their number 1 team. You're not fighting against any 2, 3, 4s or whatever in the ranking. This is the best of NA versus the best of EMEA, and no excuses left to play through.
And certainly no 6 or 7s. Certainly none of those. None of those rosters are going to make it either to this event.
On the phone to Achilleos, I'm getting him back in. I'm making the call.
Good luck, Seth. Good luck. Good luck, buddy. Good luck following up that piece of amazing commentary.
Voss is very in tune with the commentary on the internet with the young crowd, I think.
This caster absolutely commentary mugs. Achilleos cast spiking his cortisol. But more on today's matchup here, obviously. Twisted Minds, Team Liquid. And this team, I mean, both these squads, I mean, we've kind of talked to death already, but they're just both extremely, extremely talented in the region. They have champions on both these rosters, either previously from Overwatch League or from OWCS. And really, it's exciting to see how they continue to develop since yesterday, as they've got more hands, more time on the new heroes. Because remember, we are going to be playing, some maps dedicated to just playing those new heroes, along with allowing them to get played throughout the rest of the series and just develop as the meta develops. And it was a bit of a quieter day yesterday from Quartz, honestly, versus T1, though TVNT picked up that slack heavily and Simple, just really doing some incredible things. So I'm wondering today, maybe Quartz going to come back, surge back here for Twisted Minds a bit more, and we're going to see a little bit more of the Quartz dominance that we're expecting.
Of course, the winner goes on to play Crazy Raccoon in the grand finals. Both these two teams from NA and EMEA have experience against Crazy Raccoon, but reasonably one-sided in terms of results because Liquid haven't beaten Crazy Raccoon. To be fair, they only played them one time. It was the mid-season championship group stage of last year, 2-3. Crazy Raccoon scraped by on a map 5, and I think Team Liquid would love to get that rematch in. The Twisted Minds, though, they've also played Crazy Raccoon 2 times, beat them twice, including at the World Finals to send them into the lower bracket, and now a World Championship team on your screen again, walking up as you might even potentially say boot camp favorites.
Yeah, that would not be unreasonable at all. This roster looking incredible here, looking very strong yesterday as well. And that's the thing about a World Championship level team, is that they have players that someone's a little bit quieter, someone else steps up. And we saw that performance out of TVNT showing his flexibility, and overall this roster just very well poised for the meta. When you look at their strengths, when you see how strong, you know, still playing kind of a rush style can be at times, and even showing very good proficiency on the newer heroes.
Of course, map number 1, we are required to play through all 5 of the new heroes, and to decide who gets to choose map number 1, we will have a 1v1 subsequently as well. But look at the starting lineup, no surprises. UB still not in for the time being because On-Run is required to be played. That'll be piloted by Jwoo. Waiting to see if in maps 2 and onwards, if UB is going to bring his captaincy and his Symmetra to bear.
And that is definitely an interesting question, right? Is where does UB fit into this roster? UB's talked a little bit about how they knew that maybe Sim not quite as relevant, so they're spending some more time without UB playing, and rather having Jwoo.
It was actually because of the Sim bug. He didn't play because he knew about the bug. But
yeah, I saw that, but I'm hoping that, I mean, it would be very funny if that was the case, and then UB's like, I know about this bug that gave us a giant technical issue yesterday and just never told anyone about it. But I'm gonna take the best faith interpretation and say that he did report it, or perhaps I was misinterpreted.
But there's no bug now.
Because if so, yeah, there's no bug now. They fixed it. But if that is true, UB, I will say you cost us 2 hours yesterday, buddy. Cost us 2 hours. We'd like to know, like a little heads up.
Yeah, we could have charged 1 Jumbin Earth Shatter in that time. So, UB, we'll see if the Symmetra does come on through. Because I think Sim is playable. We've seen Checkmate pull that through. Team Liquid, though, they're not going to be pulling that hero out. Extremely unlikely. Tree and Zera leading the way the DPS lane. Very flexible, very powerful. Both of them absolutely dominating Virtus Pro for the most part, except for that one map that we had in the middle. Solid backline that have been together for their 3rd year now in a row. And, of course, Infected. I think the best tank in North America, certainly the most flexible tank in North America. Team Liquid are stacked top to bottom. And it's a number 1 versus number 1 fight regionally that I think both teams have been looking forward to for some time, because, as I mentioned, these two teams have never played against each other.
And that's why we're now calling it, we will all start calling it now the secondary of Classico. We'll start now calling it that.
The Twisted Liquid Bowl.
The Twisted Liquid Bowl here. But really, I mean, the story of yesterday for this squad is that we knew going in, they had a lot of talent, but they had such a good grasp, I think, of the meta in general. Such good fundamentals. Zera continuing to be a player that is a humongous difference maker and someone that can make plays for this squad. And you look at just the overall flexibility of this team, they're looking very, very strong heading into it. And as a reminder, for our first map of the series, we are going to be playing the 5 new heroes exclusively here for Season 1 for this first map.
And a 1v1 preceding that to sort of decide what map we're going to get taken to and who gets first map choice between our two teams. Then maps 2 onwards, bans available. The 5 heroes you see on screen, the Season 1 heroes cannot be banned in that ban phase, and then we'll, if necessary, go to a final map. And on that final map, Dominant must be played and bans are turned off. So that's exactly the format we followed in our first semi-final, where we did go to 5 maps. For Twisted Minds, seeing them make short work of T1 yesterday, seeing VP as well make short work of by Team Liquid. I mean, both teams largely cruising through their quarterfinals to get here.
Now, definitely a meeting of giants here at this point, and we're really lucky to be having the caliber of games that we're getting this early in the season here, thanks to boot camp with Chris Raccoon Falcons before this, and now this matchup, hopefully. And continue to see just the adaptations they're making, what they're going to use across this new roster, this new cast of heroes, which have added a lot of very interesting gameplay elements, especially with that hotfix that came through with some of these buffs and these changes. And, you know, heading into the series, I'm very interested to see what the 1v1, who those participants are going to be as well.
Jwoo,
because honestly, it did. Jwoo Tree. Okay, Jwoo Tree. Do we know the hero?
Probably a DPS, but unsure what the DPS is. And obviously you have a bit of a role mismatch here, where despite both being DPS plays, Tree slightly more favored towards a hit scan. Jwoo definitely a flex DPS projectile player. That being said, though, and we talked about this yesterday as well, Tree, he's flexible enough that he's essentially in the hyperflex category now, where he can swap between hit scan and projectile. So if it is on run, I mean, Tree could probably pilot that here. If it's Omre, I mean, it's very obvious that Tree is going to be favoring that here. I don't know that Joe would be as comfortable. But we could be thrown for a mixer. It could actually be any of the heroes. It could be a support. It could be the Domino. I mean, we've seen some of that yesterday as well. But we'll kick things out, see what they lock in, and see who wins this one.
Thrown into the mixer. What are we, Shroud?
I understood that reference.
Yeah, you like that one? So the 1v1, the rollout's going to be happening here. It is On-Run, it is Tree and Jwoo here for the 1v1 to determine the map pick.
And it's crazy that he thought Ninja was there first, but anyway, I digress. On-Run 1v1. Of course, in the actual map one that we'll see after this, Zero would typically actually be playing the On-Run, so Tree having the trust the team put into him at this stage in time. It's a lot of this building up of the fire damage and then using the right-click fan and Burner Rush. It's just going to be a full engage here. This is it. It's all done. Tree comes out on top. Speaking of Ninja, that was a bit of a ninjutsu battle at the end.
It really feels like when you see the On-Run 1v1 there, so much of it, like you talked about, is based off the ignition, and then you get that increase in damage with the right click with the fan to flames right after. And when you hit, like, rather if it's the, you know, the Dancing Blaze, the E, or the Inferno Rush on the left shift, they also just add a set amount of ignition. So it's just a lot of damage that can stack up really quickly. And you see just Tree with the immediate turn just hits a crucial bit of shots there, wins the 1v1. So map pick going the way for Team Liquid. And that's part of what makes On-Run such an interesting hero, and her role in that sort of like flanker class of, okay, we have someone that is able to kind of fit that Tracer Genji role. She struggles a bit to have the utility of those heroes right now, but she has a really cool overall kit and design built around the ignition and the ability to just stack up that damage really quickly and get in very fast.
We started out in Lijiang Tower. We will remain on Lijiang Tower for our opening map. This was our closing map of the 5-map series between Falcons and Crazy Raccoon. And for Twisted Liquid here in this matchup, it's going to be the beginning stages. Of course, as a reminder, again, you have to play all 5 of the new Season 1 heroes. No swaps allowed here. Quartz versus Tree. It's going to be a big battle. We saw Jwoo versus Tree in the 1v1, but Quartz is the guy to look out for on this team for Twisted Minds. 75% of the audience favoring the defending world champions, particularly in how dominant they look versus T1 yesterday. Of course, in yesterday's game as well, TVNT, the tank player, in the middle of your screen there, the player that actually received that award for his amazing diva play and the clutch ball swap as well.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you have to give obviously a lot of respect to Twisted Minds for their being previous world championships. You see the quintessential Quartz spray down there for the mouse pad, getting a little bit of removing that friction, which AIM trainers everywhere and people obsessed with the AIM community, they're always watching these little quirks like that.
Everyone going for Twisted Minds, by the way. And I think that might just be true across the board. I don't know. But any other casters end up going for Team Liquid? Let's find out. Do get it twisted, Avas. Do get it twisted. Everyone went for Twisted Minds.
It wasn't us. We've
never been wrong before, clearly, so it's fine.
No. We've never been wrong. I think in this case, though, there's beauty and power in numbers of, you know, if we're wrong, everyone's wrong. And realistically, don't get me wrong, I would love to see Liquid win this match, to have North America. I mean, whenever North America beats EMEA, we can walk away and be very happy, especially since, considering the GK situation is, you know, they don't really have, they're not here, and they don't have that mixed European roster where sometimes the cope comes out. It's like, oh, it was a European roster, European players on the squad, non-NA players. But Liquid, I mean, you're looking at a very North American roster.
Yeah.
And, you know, winning here would be a big win for North America overall.
Yeah, I mean, we look at that Team Liquid roster, packed to the rafters with talent, representing the red, white, and blue. Speaking of blue, I mean, all their jerseys have that on, actually. Lighter shade and the darker shade. A couple of the top players in the world from Saudi Arabia on that Twisted Minds team, with some very powerful international talent mixed in as well. Jwoo, the new addition to this team, bringing in his really powerful flex DPS capabilities. His mechanical ability is very, very strong. Question will just be, has he had enough time to gel with the team? Has he had enough time to work through any potential communication difficulties? And as we head into map number 1, Team Liquid up to the test here to dethrone the world champions. OWCS Bootcamp Match 2, Day 3 starts now.
And there are the fans again, working together to get the chants going. Love a little bit of cooperation. Some of the non-hometown heroes here at the arena. And as like we were talking about, 5 new heroes on the board. Both these squads for the first map. Mandated Season 1 roster. The new roster. And we see a bit of a jetpack cat tack scene here for the Dominas to be expected.
Both teams delivering the Dominators straight over towards the dojo. Side map control. The point unlocks. TVNT versus Infected is Infected. A pretty good matchup into Ice Nom yesterday. TVNT, as we talked about, player of the match on that tank position for Twisted Minds against T1.
Doing a little bit of duel right now. Look at the poke. Man, RuPaul going in. There's the binding chain. Trying to lock down TVNT, who takes a lot of damage, but look at the lifeline there from Funny Astro, just bringing them out. Saving them from that pressure, and the first cast goes away to Twisted Minds to just prioritize that point.
Especially pulling TVNT towards the point as well, into the loving embrace of the rest of the team members. A couple of low members, Quartz especially, might be under pressure if Zero can reach the back line, but his position on the side flank has been marked. Team Liquid's health looking largely good at the moment as both teams trying to charge up these ultimates. Funny Astro leading the way. Zero still low HP, still needs to be healed. Liquid wanting to enter from the front as Tree just has his sights on the side as RuPaul also testing the boundaries of the map.
Really good flank pressure coming out from Liquid, but still no cap time, no pressure, too much on the point right now. As Astro gonna commit the catnapper, just gonna take Infected into the rest of the team, trying to bring him in. Can they finish him off?
It's Jaewoo though, Jaewoo and Quartz coming out on top of all of this. Team Liquid, not enough in the tank. Vega, no ultimate here. Probably, I think, chased after TVNT, but smartly Funny Astro, as you sort of noted there, didn't try and drag Infected off the map, but instead just dragging him out of position so that his team can get an early pick. And Jaewoo and Quartz using that advantage, striking on Team Liquid for the first fight win.
Quartz peeking there, getting some of those right-click headshots there, where Imra does bring a bit of that burst damage if you're taking that take aim. Now, Twisted Mind still holding the point. 4 ults going to be on the board. Liquid, though, pretty big ults. They do have that Jetpack Cat ult available, so those uses. Okay, already. Pop the Imra trying to get on in.
Big. Quartz shut down there. You can see as well Vega flying into the sky in Quartz's face to make sure he'll self-damage to himself, and Vega continues that trend into another DPS as Team Liquid strike back with a vengeance, and not too late yet either, because 87%. Twisted Minds were nearly reaching that last fight territory. Team Liquid needed that.
Yeah, Team Liquid just using the pressure from those ults across the board. The Sanctuary from RuPaul making sure that none of Quartz's damage go through, and even if they want to pop the Panopticon, they're not worried about some of the outside pressure there. And they're still holding on here to the Catnap here for Vega, means that they can just look for one person to take. If they go for the cross, they try to get this pressure here on the point. There is still a lot of environmental hazard, or they could do what Astro did before, right? Take one player, maybe TVNT, bring him into the rest of the team, finish him off really quickly. The chain not hitting.
Okay, and off the map we go. Vega attempting to make that play happen. Jaewoo, though, has the ult available. The Milligan Ascent indeed, and descending into RuPaul, and Tree finding out about just how hot Twisted Minds can get. TVNT gets stunned up. Jaewoo on 1 HP, but it doesn't seem to matter here as Infected falls next. TVNT gets the better of him, and Team Liquid don't have numbers left. Vega slightly late death, 90% in counting. Liquid need to touch, and Zero looks like the only one that can do it.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be Zero here. There's no one else really available. Vega's still coming back from spawn, but the pressure, the poke, they gotta get in there finally. Gonna get the touch. So OT gonna be triggered, and they are gonna bring Infected back, but there's no ults here on the board. Astro holding on to that Catnapper, and likely Twisted Minds pulling up.
Oh, the prediction. Nice plays from Funny Astro. Looking to drop him off the map. Infected gone as well. And that will be the map, or rather the round, I should say, going over to Twisted Minds. But man, that second to last fight, brutal. As Vega desperately trying to get Jaewoo off the map, and Jaewoo responds by saying, let me fly into the sky with this ultimate, drop down and get 2 kills on that same ult, and completely pushing Liquid off the map and forcing them to a very unfavorable spot.
Yeah, really, that is I think the crux of this fight, is that they had a decent position there, but there's Vega finding Jaewoo. Probably the worst possible target there. Vermilion Synth was up. Jaewoo could just make it back, and then gets 2 off of it. Thinking that maybe they had gotten the kill there, gotten the elim. So now first round goes the way of Twisted Minds here. Roll out here for another. And expect potentially, since it doesn't look like They're going to try to commit to take the Mega Pack here. They're going to instead focus for the White Room for Twisted Minds.
And by the way, you see how much more aggressive the Cat players are in this opening map as well, because you know there's no Sojin on the other side of the map. It's going to be Ombre the entire way through. Not as much burst threat. You can afford to be a little bit greedy. You can afford to play a little bit more aggressive, knowing that the Ombres aren't just going to one-tap you like a Soj would. So if the respective damage over time, though, the sustained damage from the Ombre can be pretty dangerous, as even he's finding out right now.
Oh, well, getting found as well. Jaywu trying to get the chase, but Vega chased out very low. Zira backed out as well, as already the position here for Twisted Minds. Very good. Effective looking to anchor the point, but pretty low. Likely going to go down. Let's see Liquid.
Mechanics once again. Showing what he's worth. Quartz and Simple also getting the clean via Liquid again. Not going to be favorable in this opening fight. And that's considering the fact that also you had Tree on the high ground. He had post control. Doesn't matter. Twisted Minds still find their opening. Quartz chained up. Still healthy. Bunny Astro first to ult.
Yeah, and that's also, I mean, just kind of the problem there too, is that Astro already, once again, getting that early jetpack at ult here. This upcoming fight, just to remove one person, we take him off the map, and just start a snowball.
It will require Vega to keep tabs on who Funny Astro goes for. RuPaul getting a bit of damage there as well. Tree once again playing on the sidelines here, wanting to control the flanking angle. Funny Astro ready to go, looking for the target. He has caught the on-runner Zero, but not the best target unless you just drag him into a team. Again, smart that he's not going for plays off the map. Just wants to get the kills. Quartz has been traded though. Simple has ultimate available. Infected Panopticon has been spent. Infected has managed to get the best of Simple in that environment. It looks like Team Liquid have done enough. A late catnap ultimate from Vega to see if it ends up really providing the utility required, and Vega will just use it to get a solo kill to Bunny Astro.
Now it's going to be clean up here on TVNT. It's a long fight, 60% probably. Nearly 60% to Twisted Minds. But the Panopticon from Infected just making sure they couldn't follow up off that early ult from Bunny Astro. And they just played around that damage, got those very critical picks, and then Vega popping another smart cat apper. And okay, pause coming down. We'll see what it is. If it's technical related, more than likely. It looks like it's Vega, since they're all pointing and looking at his screen currently. I mean, I'm taking my context clues and assuming it's likely Vega.
Speaking of context, game right now sits at 57-9% in favor of Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds, of course, also having that first round victory on Lijiang that we saw. Vega has a mic issue at the moment that we'll sort out for his team. Liquid won the most recent fight with a flip. RuPaul and Tree sitting on ultimate. Zero at 86. Jaywu at 92. Quartz and TVNT sitting on ultimates as well. So both teams looking poised to have some good approaches on the way through, but I think that Sanctuary from RuPaul will be a difference maker, especially given that Quartz will have all his damage blocked.
Weak test happening here for Twisted Minds. Ult's going to be pretty strong here for both these squads, but in particular the Panopticon, which is so good for just punishing someone, setting up the fight early. It's okay, right protocol out for Quartz and Tree, both looking for a bit of a duel here for the Umbra.
Well, again, you can see players trying to get in the faces of these players. Tree! Air-to-air missiles. Fighter jets out here. Top Gun Maverick. Tree is going to take his opponents down, and for Twisted Minds, the rest will soon follow. Team Liquid, another successful fight. Push them forward and take over on that 57%.
Might be one of the most impactful Imra plays we've seen yet in the entire tournament. I mean, Imra, I just feel like his kit is really interesting, really cool. But it's so hard to get value out of particularly ult just because of the speed sometimes. And right there, Tree hitting a nasty shot now. So Twisted Minds having to look for the recontest. They do have the Panopticon, but Infected not too far away. And TVNT only finding Infected here. And they're going to immediately punish him though.
One kill sometimes is all you need in a 5v5 game, and Tree knows it because one kill back can just give his team the advantage as well. 3 versus 3 now, 2 supports alive with Zero on Team Liquid. But TVNT as the tank is still in the mix for Twisted Minds. Note that the cap is still in favor of Liquid, and Zero cleans up and gets these final few kills. This might be a Liquid point.
There's the chain too, making sure they couldn't chase Zero anymore. The double support pocket for Zero. Twisted Minds gonna have to come back for one last contest. It is possible when you have a jetpack hat on the field. You do have some fast heroes, but likely Vega gonna be looking for this. Everyone gonna be hunting for Funny Astro.
Touch has to be initiated here. Tree controlling the flank as usual. Vega there with him. Funny Astro Somebody on Twisted Mind certainly has managed to get that touch indeed. Infected once more has ultimate available. Uses the Vega also ultimate there as well. But with Zero and Vega getting these kills, dragging players off the map as well to follow through. Only Joe in response for TM. It might not be enough. Zero doesn't care about anything else TM has to offer on this control center. Tied up now in Lee Jung Tower map 1, 1-1.
And Zero just dropping the Onron ult in return. Comparatively what happened with, with Jaywu earlier in the first round. Using that Vermilion Ascent to get on up, take out Funny Astro. And that's just a really tough fight because you're walking in, all that damage, you're walking into those ults. You know you have to keep one person at least anchored on the point there. And when you have, Jetpack Cat ults to deal with, you're going to have to be removing someone from that. So tied up 1-1 now. And Tree, putting on a great performance, but Jaywu equaling that currently. But the real name of the game is, once again, look at Vega on the Jetpack Cat. So, that character in general, that hero, so good at finding final blows and getting the limbs, being in the fight with that mobility.
Ability from Funny Astro here to early drag TVNT into the side rooms as we're going to play opposite sides of the map. Team Liquid have opted to go to point early, Twisted Minds have opted to take side rooms early. And now the approach is Liquid in a defensive position. TM have to push through front.
Ward's putting some good poke so far here on the Imra. So just waiting for the point to unlock here. Poking going back and forth currently. It's Liquid now going for the wraparound here. You see them both, Vega and Tree.
Good grenade damage. Tree with the protection shot and simple. RuPaul falls as well though, so this is still a 2-for-2 trade. 3v3 once again for these two teams. No tank for Twisted Minds. Liquid still is infected. Now this is just going to be opportunity again for Jaywu or somebody to go for that carry. Stunned up into the wall, Tree takes advantage, and Team Liquid off the back of Infected, still being in the tank, repulses in hand. They will get the first cap, the first time, by the way, in all of the 3 rounds.
And a beautiful flank there from Liquid. Vega, Tree, playing that really long flank, getting a lot of value as Vega's hunting. Look at a little bit of info here. You got another hidden value here for the cat. You can just see so much of the map. You can get around, take those angles. Now they're going to know where Twisted Minds are at, looking to approach the point. Bit of an ult advantage here for Team Liquid.
Of course, he's expecting, right, that maybe Funny Astro's dragging TVNT across the sky. But in fact, TM will once again approach from main. Team Liquid has the advantage of defending here. However, aggression being put onto Infected. No save there, no opportunity to keep him alive. As Vega tries to drag a player off the map, successfully will do so. Jaywu trades 0, 3v3 again, but TVNT is live. Funny Astro still has a can there, but might just deploy it in the middle of this fight. Unless Tree can get some more damage done. Tree might just be able to save the day for his own team. Vega, you talked about how much damage and impact he had. Well, he's displaying once again with a 3K.
I'm loving Tree's movement and the picks in general here. And additionally, that major perk from Imra that Tree picked there, the heatsink, lets him just keep getting more shots for that pistol, that lifesteal pistol that comes on out. So when you pop it, you can keep yourself sustainable in that fight, make sure that it doesn't go down to TVNT. And now another recontest here for Twisted Minds. Not about to be up, but it can be equaled here by Infected. They are going to have the option for Funny Astro's ult, just looking for someone here on the edge.
Funny Astro going in. Infected looking like he's getting dragged right now into the team, and TVNT will take clear advantage of that 1-0. Wanting to get some revenge here. TVNT throwing it at Panopticon. Team Liquid still need more. Twisted Minds, they have good damage, they have good survivability, and they have a good chance now to turn this around, get the flip over. Liquid may be in the lead, but Twisted Minds have found their fight.
Great fight there from Twisted Minds off of really just that displacement that comes out from Funny Astro again, who's just using it as a way, almost like a Roadhog hook, Instead of trying to view it as an environmental kill, let's just use it as displacement entirely. Every time, set up that fight, especially when considering the Dominant just doesn't have any movement abilities to return to her team necessarily. But Team Liquid now holding on to double support for this fight, especially with the Kekai Sanctuary, you're going to be so strong here for the point. Twisted Minds going to ideally want to try to win the fight on the flank.
Tree as well. It's got that ultimate coming online. Sanctuary being dropped a little early. RuPaul and Infected will use that. Vega as well. Ulting Twisted Minds. They have to reset quickly here. Their team is completely routed. TVNT gets one in the trade, but he's going to die late. Team are going to get 54% here. Liquid are not close enough to force a one fight. But by the time that TM comes back, it will be a must-win. Watching the flank angle now is Tree.
Okay, 85 on the board here for Liquid. Override Protocol, gonna be up. Once again here for Tree, who has been getting a lot of use out of it currently. It looks like, once again, the flank pressure coming out from Twisted Minds. This tree gonna pop the ult here, trying to find anything here on the
What a
point.
kill. Victor's already gone out again. Tree's trying to even things up a little bit, but he's not finding the shots. Zero does, however, instantly traded. Baniasha, mind you, still has ultimate available. Quartz, big shots coming on through, and Tree can't do enough this fight. Infected dying as early as he did, unfortunately, will end up costing Liquid that fight, but they did get the flip. So Twisted Minds still stuck on 54% at the start of that.
And this is actually a pretty good situation for Twisted Minds. RuPaul has to be careful, very low. I take a bit of damage there from Quartz, but the Panopticon is up, double DPS ult, not too far away from the Kekai Sanctuary either for Simple. So a lot of tools in the kit here for Twisted Minds, and for Liquid, they have time to give. They can play it slow, build some ults, look for a pick as Quartz takes that damage there. I mean, it's just the sticky there for the perk for Tree, huge.
Speaking of sticking, how about Funny Asher sticks a play in the middle of nowhere? Infected, looking to get dragged, but Vega gets the better of Funny Asher. Another double kill. Vega looking like the most impactful play in the lobby. At times a triple gear, TVNT off the map, and Liquid, I think they've taken the map.
They definitely have here. That's going to be the map for Team Liquid, taking the first map of the series here in the NA versus EMEA showdown at Boot Camp. And Vega, I mean, we've talked about Jetpack Cat a lot in the hands of these really mechanically solid, fundamentally sound support players, and Vega showing again the value. But for me, honestly, I'm shouting out Tree here just because Tree, that felt like one of the more impactful IMRA performances we've seen so far here at the event. I feel like his mash with the hero is honestly pretty high already. And it's tough because his kit is strong, but it lags behind some of those other hitscan heroes at times, what we've seen, which is why we haven't seen IMRA pick quite as much once we get off this mandated composition for the first map. But I'm really impressed there by Team Liquid on their usage of the new heroes.
Words being spoken to by the coaching staff, Soros and Danning there for Team Liquid, as the work is not yet done. Map 2 and onwards are going to be opening up the hero pool. No more mandated heroes required to be played. This is where Twisted Minds are going to get dangerous. I mean, so will Team Liquid, as Twisted Minds taking their first map loss so far of Boot Camp. They went flawless versus T1 yesterday, but that flawless streak ends now. Team Liquid with map 1. Let's see what happens on map 2 after this.
Missy one.
Under one.
I'm on one. Heal me. Just Emre.
They can't touch.
Where's Emre?
They can't touch. Yeah, that one play we just need a better scouting. I didn't see
First blood has officially been drawn here in our second semi-final of the preseason boot camp. Twisted Minds versus Team Liquid, and Liquid get map 1 on Lijiang Tower. Now Twisted Minds, their map choice for map number 2.
Loving the sign there. Loving the sign. The UB Kiss with the Life Weaver. Loving the sign here, loving the artwork in the crowd, and Liquid already looking very strong here in the series. And I do think that this is a team that has a great grasp and understanding already of this new hero roster, which I have no doubt will pay dividends for them as we head into the rest of the season for OWCS and for the rest of this tournament, hopefully, for boot camp. As now we're waiting to see how Twisted Minds are going to respond. And, you know, again, I have to say, Avril, Port's just looking a little quiet.
Seemed that way yesterday and maybe continuing today. However, I will say, the cope right now would be that perhaps Omre's just not his hero. What you want to see Quartz on is the Surge. That's his primary. That's his number 1. A1 from day 1. Esperanza the pick from Twisted Minds. And Twisted Minds did not get to play this map yesterday versus T1. So perhaps a new look here. Of course, I didn't see a substitution. I believe Jay is still in, so no Symmetra shenanigans to come on through. Vendetta taken away. They saw how good Zero was on that hero yesterday, and they don't want a piece of it, at least not for now. But look at that. A counter target ban. Your strongest player yesterday was Zero on the Vendetta. TVNT's strongest player was TM's strongest player was
TVNT. I mean,
Diva.
he is his strongest player, to be fair. He's also the strongest player for himself. He is piloting, if you could say, his own mech. He's piloting
There's a baby
that.
diva piloting
flesh
all
mech.
of us somewhere.
Yeah, it's just the little baby diva inside of us all in terms of our flesh mech. And I do think for TVNT, that's a very smart ban coming out for Liquid, just because we've seen the impact he has. And as we get into this next map here, Liquid up 1-0 versus Twisted Minds. And they equalize.
They're giving some props over to Jimin there with the minor Rhine hover, but I think lesson learned. He doesn't want to make the same mistakes as what Crazy Raccoon did on that particular map. An early diva ban from Liquid. Note that this means you're not going to have a sort of situation like Crazy Raccoon and Falcon's got to have on Gibraltar, where you can have this asymmetric ban against TVNT. You're removing the diva early, forcing TVNT on towards a Zarya here instead. Infected on the Domina. It's going to be his choice.
Domina Zarya matchup is interesting here, right? Because it functions somewhat similar to what you see for the Sigma matchup to Zarya. Long flank tree, Quartz,
well,
Jaywu both down immediately in there. Losing to the
is taking down the counterparts. Tree, you noted, he's been better than Quartz so far, and he's continuing with that trend right now on map 2. Vega onto Simple, TVNT desperate to find something, and Vega continues his own kill streak from Cat onto Lucio.
I mean, just a dominant fight there for Liquid. I mean, they just look extremely confident here, hunting down DPS players here for Twisted Minds on the flanks, controlling them entirely as Tree, trying to get a little cheeky with the picks. So now Twisted Minds looking to come back in here, stop the bot, get some progress of their own.
What's just trying to find his way into the map. Again, he really needs to be able to step up, particularly against Tree, but everyone on Team Liquid. Best hit scan in the world, just November last year. Now February. Needs to prove that he can retain that title against Team Liquid and against Tree. Twisted Minds looking to push forward on this low HP infected.
Jaywu there, making them turn back around here just a bit, trying to get them off their positioning. Tree playing far back, alongside RuPaul, looking for rails. As Twisted Minds just still trying to find the opening, playing slow, looking to go through the portals here. Yeah, the rush. Rush coming up for both these squads very soon, but Vega also has that beat advantage, right? So they do have a bit of an opportunity to potentially just lap them.
That's because of the early damage and kills he's managed to get over Funny Asher and just winning the team fight, which means once the Kitsune Rush is dropped down, if this goes loud and fast, Vega has a large support advantage. Funny Asher still lagging behind in that regard. Twisted Minds, They know that to be the case. Funny Astro desperately looking to catch up now. Vega speeding in. Instant sound barrier. Tree once again on course, and Tree continuing the rampage against Funny Astro as well. Not even going to give him a chance to find that sound barrier. He's not even close. 92%. Certainly a little too far away. Simple will make his name heard loud and clear as he did yesterday to memory. But it will still be Team Liquid and Vega with 3 in that fight.
Bit unfortunate there for Liquid, because if they had won that cleanly, they probably keep the bot pressure going, but they lose 2 at the very end. So they don't get to take too much presence here, though they are going to be back relatively quickly. Twisted Mind's now holding onto the grab for this upcoming fight, and they're going to have the beat of their own. So you look towards Tree, you look towards Infected. Can they just pop the overclock, commit aggressively, especially considering that they don't have bubbles here for Tree? So maybe they look to Infected just pop out a Panopticon. And he is, he's going to pop it.
Popped. Oh, Funny Astro had to be careful there to get stunned, but TVNT falls crucially before the sound barrier drops, and Zero delivers that pulse from Quartz. Just cannot catch a break here, whether it's from Tree or from Zero. Team Liquid still send their regards, and now we have first point checkpoint capture on board for Team Liquid.
I mean, incredible tempo here for Liquid. Very, very good tempo for Liquid so far. Liquid just playing these fights perfectly. They're using their ults exactly how you need to. Just make one advantage, know your advantage, pop it earlier if you need to. EVNT now holding onto the grab. The overclock still up. And for Twisted Minds, they have to somehow get in here. They don't really have an option to get any verticality.
Needs to be careful about his HP pool to get taken down to 1, but thankfully, in this type of matchup, Twisted Minds can't just aggress onto him. There's no sim to TP them up. TMT is stuck on the ground, and Course needs an angle, which he doesn't have. Graviton Surge is available. Tree flies first, so looking for Tree. He misses, but he does grab at least a tank. Tree free to move around and still snipe players. Railing shots all the way from the distance in the window. Clear fire, target-rich environment. Tree and Vega both getting kills here. Twisted Minds still cannot get anything done in this Esperanza map. Vega on the kill feed, ever as present.
Vega, I mean, what is Vega's stats right now? Vega has to have a ridiculous amount of limbs and final blows currently on the Lucio, and just the rotation from Liquid in general. Again, knowing, okay, grabs up, overclocks up, we can just rotate around them, pressure from the other side, we can't stand up to the grab. And now they're going to have double support ult for this fight. They're going to have a pulse. Liquid putting on a masterclass versus Twisted Minds right now.
Now reaching nearly the 100%, or the 100-meter mark, rather, I should say. Simple dropping his ult, but guess what? Vega and Root will have more. Team Liquid just had more. TVNT, he's got none. No HP at all. Simple with the 1 response. Simple seems to be the most stable and consistent player in Twisted Minds so far, because everyone else around him, his entire team, falling to pieces. Team Liquid finally will be slowed down somewhat by Quartz landing some shots, but Liquid are still going to reach that 100-meter mark.
There it is. Avril Theorem, it's there, Avril. Your namesake, it's arriving. And Funny Astro gonna get caught late too, so they can't even really use their spawn advantage here that much at all. They're not gonna be able to chase without the speed. And then we're gonna have the Panopticon available. Astro won't have beat in time because he's going down. I mean, just a brutal
Twisted
situation
has won the fight. Hang on. Twisted haven't truly won the fight because Infected survived that situation, and now he's got a Panopticon TVNT in the face, allowing Tree to find the shot again. This might be Twisted Mind pushing even further. They're going to go all the way to spawn if they have to. Team Liquid are just destroying Twisted Minds. They don't have anything left in the tank, it seems, as Twisted Minds are back against the wall, stuck in spawn.
I mean, just nothing happening here for Twisted Minds right now. Liquid just having the tempo, having the exact right calls every time, and they're chasing so deep. And even if they lose players here, Astro has to drop a 3-man beat in spawn. I mean, that's in spawn. It is in spawn. It is literally in spawn.
Not figuratively, literally, as the man said. Now Zera, the last one surviving, just going to try and delay things somewhat. Twisted Minds, I have not seen them in this type of state since I guess they play extremely close matches against last year's Alcacia, where Alcacia was maybe getting the better of them, but this is a very, very different looking Twisted Minds in terms of performance to what we're used to.
It's evil. It's evil Twisted Minds, perhaps inverse Twisted Minds. We have
minds twisted,
non-twisted, non-twisted minds, perhaps non-twisted bodies. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. We'll have to think about that a little bit more. But now Quartz here on the off angle again, close to the overclock. Ult's pretty good for Twisted Minds, despite having to pop the beat in spawn, but 3 minutes in the bank and 130 meters for Team Liquid.
Just a nightmare scenario to be in if you are the losing team here. It's going to require near perfect gameplay, especially as we get closer to the OT here as well. A large amount of ultimates for TM. They can't afford to lose continued fights. Course finding as Mark TVNT using that Graviton Surge to start bringing the team fight into favor. Tree will still respond with one, but Tree doesn't have enough teammates alive anymore to continue this fight. It looks stuck at the moment, and Liquid have lost this fight, allowing TM to get their first serious
Tree
amount of
has the
meters on the
mandate of
board.
heaven. He's finally gonna go down, but I'm like, I look at this, I see him escaping. He got that pick on Quartz. Tree might have the mandate of heaven right now. He might. The Jade Emperor has blessed him. I can't believe what I'm seeing currently for Tree. I mean, he's just moving differently. Twisted Mind's gonna get this first checkpoint finally, like you talked about, Admiral. But I mean, Liquid, just the confidence in their play right now, so high.
And they have the room to take risks as well. They know they're severely ahead. They know the time is running out for TM. All they have to do, if they want to play the rest of this perfectly, is play a strong defensive game, bleed ultimates out of Twisted Minds, and eventually TL, when it comes to the overtime and the clock goes to 0, they're going to have a major economical advantage on ults, and that will be enough to win the map and take them to match point.
Zero just pressuring here, making Quartz be very, very aware. And they forced that recall for Jwoo, so he's not going to be able to go for the pulse just yet. And Opticon is available, so they're going to go for the aggressive beat instead of the engage.
Opticon in, Vega responds with his own beat as well. Quartz waiting for the green HP to go before he can use his overclock. They won't get a chance to infect it, just running him down. Twisted Minds, they needed Quartz alive to be able to continue this fight. TVNT looks to fall next. The simple gone, the healing just won't be enough. Just as team, or rather Twisted Minds, look to get some distance, TL shut it down.
And now they're really, I mean, equalized like half that push advantage they have. There's a rush available for RuPaul in this fight. A minute in the bank. And because of the nature here of push, Liquid, all they have to do is play to win one good fight. And they have the advantage to do so. They can just keep putting the pressure here onto Twisted Minds, who are going to be incentivized to have to pop ults aggressively because they can't afford to lose a fight. They just can't because of the distance advantage.
We need a big moment from Quartz. This is the man on the team with the big name, with the big aim and the big gun as well, delivering the damage into the back line if he can. But so far, Team Liquid are just not taking any damage. They're taking the bot away, and Team are on the wrong side of the map. They've been completely out-rotated, out-moved. Swift legs from Team Liquid, out-positioning Twisted Minds as the grab will be solo onto Infected. That's good enough for a kill. But where's the cleanup now? They need more.
TVNT now using this energy, just clean up here on the point. But I mean, they're once again, they're close to the spawn. They've used the grab. And Zero also going to take out Astro. But to be fair, Astro on the Lucio going to be able to make it back pretty quickly here.
The problem is the fact that they're having to use ults and spawn, right, just to reset the bot. This isn't progress. This is resetting the bot to mid, where Liquid can now reapproach and end the map here if they play a good fight.
So much pressure here on Twisted Minds to ideally not have to use the rush in this fight. They would love to just get a pick from Quartz or Jwoo early. If you can save the rush, there's a chance you want to have the opportunity to have a double portal fight.
Here we go.
Overclock now.
Tree won't be waiting any longer. He wants to end it right here, right now. And so does RuPaul. Funny Astro gone. Infected trade is simple. The last support alive for Twisted Minds. And TVNT finds the key target. Shuts down the overclock. Twisted Minds still have an opportunity. However, they are down 2 members. They still got to get Zero away. They cannot get off the payload. The good news is Quartz and Funny Astro are likely to be spawning quite close to each other. Funny Astro needs to speed Quartz into battle because otherwise Twisted Minds are in a 3v5. If Quartz and Funny Astro don't catch up, TM don't have the numbers.
But look at this. No beat for the Panopticon. Vega about to have beat. There's so much pressure here to make sure that only TVNT ideally gets caught. But even if TVNT gets caught, you can just burn him down really quickly. They need to have cooldowns up. They need to have them available. Astro trying to build this beat in time. Panopticon available now. Beat available.
He's going for it. Big Panopticon. TVNT gets caught as well. Funny Astro can't do anything about this because it doesn't have beat. Vega has one of his own, and that means Team Liquid are going to take map number 2. Don't get it twisted. Team Liquid are in the advantage, in the driver's seat, and at match point.
Liquid play. I mean, just playing a masterclass. Playing a masterclass here for Team Liquid. There's no other way around it. A pretty quiet game for the DPS. We're normally extremely dominant DPS of Twisted Minds. Both Quartz and, I mean, Jwoo coming in has had a very good career preceding this and have great impact. And Liquid playing everything perfectly, executing the ult advantage perfectly, executing the rotates perfectly, hitting the shots they need. Across the board, it has fallen into place for Liquid, while Twisted Minds not having any of the magic that we saw from last year.
It's in and out of game, because credit to the coaching staff here as well. The counter ban coming through from Liquid, getting rid of the Diva, perfect. response to the Vendetta ban that Twisted Minds initially put in there. No Diva for TVNT means no essential carry hero for TVNT that you want to play the match on yesterday, but not only that, you want to play the Diva on that Esperanza map. You want the high ground, low ground control. You want the ability to Lucio Kiriko speed rush into the backline, control Tree. With TVNT not having the Diva, Tree was out of control. So was Vega. Now Team Liquid staring down a 3-0. They might be able to do it. We'll see after this.
Sorry. Only turn.
It might be DJ hours for the Liquid fans watching at home, but it's demon time for Liquid on stage here at the preseason boot camp. 2-0 in the lead in the semi-final. Winner goes on to take on Crazy Raccoon in the grand finals. And for Twisted Minds on screen right now, discussing what their options will be to move forward because they are in the trenches. Thesaurus leading the team on the sidelines here. When you're talking to Zero, I think it might be time to bring out the Vendetta. Vendetta no longer able to be banned, but neither is Diva, which means TVNT will get his carry hero back in play.
And really just the inversion of our expectations for this series compared to Crazy Raccoon Falcons. We're like, oh, we think that was going to be a blowout. Twisted Minds Team Liquid going to be much closer, and currently we've inverted those score lines for us going into this. And again, just a very quiet showing currently from Quartz, which has been something that we've discussed. And overall, though, Twisted Minds as a whole just feeling not put together and getting kind of feasted on by Vega as well, but often set up by the amount of damage that the rest of Liquid is just putting into the team here. And just the overall macro play for Twisted Minds, just not what we'd expect out of a previous world champion.
Might be one of those times to have a conversation like, is it time to bring UB in? Are they missing the leadership and the captaincy that UB provides onto the team? Sim, a powerful hero, still viable. The only problem is as soon as you put UB into the roster, Liquid know what's up. Symmetra has to be protected as the priority by Twisted Minds if they are first banned. Otherwise, you know for a fact that it's going to get banned out by Liquid in response. To see a Vega jersey out in the crowd there as well as Infected. Vega having a hell of a game right now, and Infected right there next to him. And you mentioned Tree as well. The big battle between Tree and Quartz so far has largely only gone in one direction, and we haven't seen much out of Quartz taking down Tree in response. I think it was only realistically that one kill. That needs to change in future maps. And maybe having TVNT back on D.Va will be the catalyst to allow that change to happen.
It could be, and I love the Tree call-out because, I mean, we've talked about him throughout the series, but really he's just been so incredibly clean throughout the series. And I think even the first map, it was obviously a bit of a unique rule stipulation, but getting that much value on the Imra is just something that we haven't seen a lot of players do yet. And he feels so incredibly just efficient with everything, with all the cooldowns so far even. And for Twisted Minds, like you said, maybe the D.Va here is going to be the solution. Realistically, we just need to see more from everybody. We need to see them pick up the overall pace. It's one of those things where you can just, you can't really point to one person in particular, though. Obviously some people are like, oh, it's going to be Quartz. He's not playing amazing. It's like, yeah, sure. But you look at the pressure, you look at the ult track and the ult tempo across the board, it just feels like Liquid's lapping them right now. And it's just one of those times where a team feels like they're just, lagging behind. The queen is fading.
Bro is really about to bring out they just need to improve their aim, muscle memory, game sense, positioning, lights on stage, camera angle, position of the monitor, mouse sensitivity. He's about to put the full list out on top of TM. But that's the thing, right? Because TM had all of those and more just November last year when they dominated everyone else at the World Championships. And again, I have to stress, part of that was UB's leadership in-game. He's not in roster right now. They were scrimming with Jaywu. They didn't scrim with UB. He decided to sub himself out because they weren't planning to really play Symmetra. And now, Jaywu is mechanically delivering for his team, but the team overall, as you say, are under-delivering as a unit against Team Liquid, who are looking far cleaner across all regard.
But now we wait to see, obviously UB not in, but I have no doubt that UB is pulling the potential strings behind the camera, putting perhaps some coaching, some player coaching behind the scenes here for this squad, and maybe directing them. Because right now, Twisted Minds, they need a little bit of extra direction because they just don't have any. I feel like momentum currently going for them, and hopefully with this chance they have with this time between the next maps, they'll be able to bring it together a bit.
It's looking pretty wild out there, but we've seen crazy things in terms of, if you remember the game yesterday, Virtus Pro versus Team Liquid, there was that extra map in the middle there. Mind is escaping me, but I can very quickly just bring it up. It was New Junk City that VP kind of stomped on. I mean, surprisingly, after getting rolled on Lee Jung and Iconval, the Virtus Pro came out and just whooped TL a little bit. It wasn't for long, because then we got to map 4 and the opposite happened, and Havana, well, it was actually fairly close, 5-4 in terms of scoreline, but Havana then goes the way of Team Liquid. So maybe there's an opportunity here for Twisted Minds to look at very much the same. Twisted Minds also won that New Junk City against T1. So that ball gameplay came through on TVNT. Of course, that was more of an emergency swap to go touch the point, but end up working out for them. Largely, D.Va will be the choice here, and D.Va sort of needs to be the carry here. And I think if you go to New Junk City, allow TVNT to carry on the D.Va again, you might find success there for TM. That's probably the strategy that they may be considering right now.
And really, though, I mean, you can't put all your hopes here into your tank player just propelling you forward, right? Because it's not like Infected is a pushover. I think really, ideally, it's just a better showing across the board. TVNT can be a catalyst for this team, but he's already done enough, and he's having, I think, comparatively to most of the players right now, a very solid performance still. He's doing his best. You can't hope that TMNT just brings you back from the brink here. Ideally, there's an entire shift like we've talked about for Twisted Minds. And I do like the idea, though. I think the idea of putting him onto a Comfort Hero would potentially just let them kind of reset, get into those lanes, because you can never downplay the ability and the strength for players to just play comfort picks in the style that they are very, very comfortable with, just get back into the game. Because at the end of the day, it is an FPS, right? There's obviously these mobile mechanics and there's abilities, but if you just shoot better than the other team, you will typically just win the game.
Just aim forehead.
You will typically just win the game. Just aim forehead, right? And if you're shooting worse than the enemy team, then you're also typically just going to lose. And it sounds really forehead to say, but it is the case here for a shooter like Overwatch. So I hope that Twisted Minds just get into that headspace that they've had in the past.
Even in the most dire of moments with Twisted Minds in the past, because this is a team that has gone through a majority of a large changes, but one of the stable factors of the team that has always been there from day one is Quartz. You talk about just aim forehead. Quartz does just aim forehead, except today, possibly you could argue yesterday, but still was more than enough to get past Proud, more than enough to get past T1. I think today's performance had been a little bit shaky even then compared to yesterday, because it was still a 3-0. Now looking at this, Tree is really running laps around Quartz, which is in parts not super surprising as Tree's a talented player, but surprising in the sense that Quartz had such a high last year. We talked about him being this incredibly stable player that doesn't really have poor moments. This might be the day where we're finally seeing that armor crack just a little bit for Quartz. I don't want to put it all on him because I think there's other factors in play. I think if you have a D.Va in that matchup, you're shutting down Tree a lot more by being able to have TMNT just get into Tree's face, putting the Matrix onto him, and also have that kill threat, which I don't think the Zarya does. I don't think you really care about the Zarya if you're Tree at all. The Domina's a lot more annoying to play into if you're Quartz because of the shielding, whereas the Zarya just has the bubbles. If you're Tree, you're having a much better game in that sort of matchup because it's not just a raw 1v1. You have to take into account what the rest of the team is doing utility-wise, and Tree is getting a better matchup because he doesn't have to shoot into a shield, and Quartz does. So moving to future maps where that will likely change up now that D.Va's open could be a deciding factor, but also think about the fact that Zero won't get to play Vendetta again.
Yeah, the Vendetta also in the back pocket for Zero still a really much a threatening factor here, a threatening aura, I think, when you think about how much impact that he has had on the hero. And definitely the call out of Zarya being on the field here for Tree not having to play into those barriers, and Zarya is also not super effective necessarily at running down a Sojourn. When you have the slide available, you have all that extra mobility. So it is definitely something to think about. And for Twisted Minds, it's just really refocusing and coming back to, again, what the answer is for them. Like, how do they refocus? How do they move forward? And we can talk it to death and be like, oh, like this. And I think there are some very clear swaps of like putting them onto these comfort picks, ideally, but really just need to see an overall much better level of execution for this team. Because I think we've talked about it a bit here for Liquid, at least I have, and I know you've agreed with me there so far, is that you watch Liquid's overall gameplay and the style, and also just how much value like Vega is getting, for example. And so much of it is coming down to them just perfectly executing the ult fights, tracking the ults, using their advantages perfectly in every fight, where Twisted Minds just don't have any momentum whatsoever. They don't feel like they're executing on any of the strengths that they have. They're just not getting an advantage in the fights they should even have an advantage for. So the macro gameplay also has to overall just improve for them when it comes to the shot calling. And I think that's where a really big struggle for them, and hopefully they can turn it around for New York City if that is going to be the map they played. We haven't picked a map yet, right? So
No, the map has not been
currently
backed.
have decided.
So we're still waiting for confirmation on that, as we have a couple of delays at the moment. It's only been Lijiang, Tao, and Esperanza. New York City is available, and hang on, let me double check on that. I do believe actually that New York City and Esperanza, in general, the push and the flashpoint maps have been combined to a single pool, so might just scratch that in terms of what the possible next map could be. I had assumed they were separated so that you could pick either in terms of the subsequent maps available, but actually if you go to Esperanza already, you remove flashpoint from the current available pool until you get to map 5, so it's going to end up having to be we have hybrid available and escort available, and then after that you can open up yourself to any map you haven't played on in any game mode, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, there's not necessarily an easy call per se, I think, for them on the map pool either, because you look to Liquid, and as of right now, you can't necessarily say for sure like what would be a really bad map for them to play, especially with, I think, in a way, they've almost leveled up a bit in terms of the matchup into a team like Twisted Minds, because with Domina being allowed, you have an option to kind of play a sort of an off tank in terms of function, but still have a lot of flexibility and ability to brawl some of those more comfortable heroes for Infected, who is a very flexible player across the board. But you wouldn't necessarily say like, oh, let's put Infected on like a Zarya matchup or Diva matchup into TVNT traditionally. But maybe with Domina, you'd be like, oh yeah, Infected's actually looked really good on that hero, and you can play some comps that are a little bit more comfortable here for Liquid, or just line up into Twisted Mind a bit better. And I think that's something that's also not able to be overlooked in the matchup now with the addition of Domina for Liquid, is that having a very flexible tank player like Infected, who maybe has some weaknesses comparatively to like TVNT on the Zarya Diva, just throw them on the Domina. And so those map pool weaknesses shrink down a little bit, especially because Vega has Jetpack Hat in the repertoire now to move Infected around and just mitigate some of those value that is lost between him and TVNT.
The more I think about it, I do consider that Gibraltar might end up being the best available choice coming through now for Twisted Minds, if you want to lean more into Diva, which I think they should. Forcing Infected into a bit of a weird spot where, as you say, he could play the Dominant and continue that journey, but would require a lot of additional support from Vega, having to go to Jetpack Cat, which of course he's done well on so far. He's performed well over the past, well, the first map, certainly he was doing quite a bit on that hero, but also at the same time, you then sort of have to continue building around that setup, maybe have Tree on the Cassidy as well, and move into some of what we saw on Gibraltar from Crazy Raccoon versus Falcons. But even then, consider that eventually Hanbin moved away from the Domina, decided to play his own Winston, because the dive kind of still looks really good on Gibraltar, and I wonder if the Diva is just a little too good to pass up. Infected's either going to have to match the Diva or think about his own Winston or Bull. I think Infected will probably end up matching the Diva in that case. So that's one way that Twisted Minds can sort of move things over towards their sort of favor. I think Jaywu is capable on that Vendetta as well. Maybe not as flashy as some as other players of what we've seen, but more than good enough to allow Twisted Minds to get that win versus T1, when Zest, who was looking like one of the better Vendettas in the tournament, ended up getting taken down, and Jaywu was no slouch in that matchup. Jaywu did not look like he was the worst Vendetta by any margin, certainly, you know, on par on that sort of competitive level. Beyond that, map 5 could end up being a problem, because there's a real chance this one goes the distance, man. We could get a second map 5 back-to-back in the day for our final day of boot camp here, and on that map 5, mandatory Domina required. I think that's going to lean into Liquid's favor, because Infected looks far more comfortable in the Dominant.
It's not out of the question at all when you consider just how strong both these teams are historically, but really I'm not seeing the confidence level for myself to be like, oh, map 5, it's not like how Crazy Raccoon Falcons was when we were watching the rest of the series currently, because I look at them like, oh, I feel like there's a lot more opportunities for Falcons to make their way back in to the series comparatively right now. I do like that we've gotten to the point of the fill where we're doing the here's the 1,000 timelines that could occur, and we're going to map all the 1,000 timelines and alternate universes together to form a potential narrative, because we've been sitting here trying to figure out, like, what do we talk about? We're running out of options just a little bit, but I do think that, for me at least, I'm not feeling extremely confident about a map 5 right now when you compare it to our past series or Falcons, Crazy Raccoons, right? Where I just feel like Falcons were on the edge of taking a map a bit more closely, I think, earlier on. Well, right now, Twisted Minds doesn't feel like they've really been competitive in the series at all, currently.
And Twisted Minds, honestly, it really comes down to, I think, the Diva coming back in is going to make the difference, because you are going to have a tool to shut down Tree. Now, you are going to have a tool to enable Quartz a little bit more. Even then, maybe Quartz just doesn't hit the shots, and that isn't going to be enough for you to win. If Quartz doesn't step up and start hitting shots, nothing else anyone else is doing on the server is going to be enough for Twisted Minds. But certainly a little bit of extra time now as we sort out some issues to have the teams figure out where the next steps are. And ball is in Twisted Minds' court. Twisted Minds, technically, they do and don't have a coach at the same time. UB is both a coach and captain and also player. And as UB is watching from the sidelines, he's getting a bird's eye view of everything that is happening in game and sort of taking it all in and understanding, probably with a better viewpoint than the players are in server, what is happening. Maybe he can deliver some answers to the team. But next map choice and the ban choice is going to be quite impactful, because Twisted Minds getting 3-0'd would be very disastrous for the team. But Team Liquid are feeling good about where they are right now. We'll feel much better, though, after this break when we come back. Hopefully things will get sorted.
Do your worst, or I will.
We'll show them a trick or two. Let the kitsune guide you. Supernova ready. Greetings, Earthlings. Come closer. I won't bite.
Boom! I'm feeling it.
Prove your skill.
I'm in the groove.
Be uplifted.
Incredibile.
Victory is at hand.
That will annoy it. Nice try.
F it up.
Magnifique.
How do I look? Oh,
Yes. Yeah. All right.
The world has changed. A new enemy has risen.
The power of Talon, now under my control.
This is a fight we cannot lose.
The war is here.
Let's fight fire with fire. My training is over. Who wants to feel the heat?
I do enjoy a hostile takeover.
Time to show them what we're made of.
Can't live without me? I'm getting into this.
Anyone can make a difference.
The choice is yours. Resistance is pointless. Talon is everywhere.
Your divine support has arrived. I have landed among the stars. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Victory
Will be ours!
Up. You can't break free. Where are you going?
Domina has arrived.
Got you covered. Good shot, right?
Enemies coming in hot. Can someone heal me? Damn it!
Disgraceful.
Rise from the ashes!
Come on.
Feeling warm yet?
Such a bull.
Too easy.
Who's a pretty kitty? You are. Brighter than a shooting star!
Do your worst, or I will.
Oh! Feeling better yet? We'll show them a trick or two. Let the kitsune guide you! Supernova ready! Greetings, Earthlings! Come closer. I won't bite.
I'm feeling it!
Prove your skill.
I'm in the mood!
Be uplifted!
Incredibile.
Victory is at hand.
That will annoy them! Nice try!
F it up!
Magnifique.
How do I look? Oh,
Yes. Yeah. All right.
The world has changed. A new enemy has risen.
The power of Talon, now under my control.
This is a fight we cannot lose.
The war is here.
Let's fight fire with fire. My training is over. Who wants to feel the heat? I do enjoy a hostile takeover.
Time to show them what we're made of.
Can't live without me? I'm getting into this.
Anyone can make a difference.
The choice is yours. Resistance is pointless. Talon is everywhere.
Your divine support has arrived. I have landed among the stars. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Victory
Will be ours!
Up. You can't break free. Where are you going?
Domina has arrived.
Got you covered. Good shot, right?
Enemies coming in hot. Can someone heal me? Damn it!
Disgraceful.
Rise from the ashes!
Come on.
Feeling warm yet?
Such a ball.
Too easy.
Who's a pretty kitty? You are.
Brighter than a shooting star!
Do your worst, or I will.
Oh! Feeling better yet?
We'll show them a trick or two.
Let the kitsune guide you!
Supernova ready! Greetings, Earthlings!
Come closer. I won't bite.
I'm feeling it.
Prove your skill.
I'm in the groove.
Be uplifted!
Incredibile.
Victory is at hand.
That will annoy it! Nice try!
F it up.
Magnifique.
How do I look? Oh,
Yes. Yeah. All right.
The world has changed. A new enemy has risen.
The power of Talon, now under my control.
This is a fight we cannot lose.
The war is here.
Let's fight fire with fire! My training is over. Who wants to feel the heat?
I do enjoy a hostile takeover.
Time to show them what we're made of.
Can't live without me. I'm getting into this.
Anyone can make a difference.
The choice is yours. Resistance is pointless. Talon is everywhere.
Your divine support has arrived.
I have landed among the stars!
Whatever it takes,
Whatever it takes
victory
will be ours.
What's up? You can't break free. Where are you going?
Domina has arrived.
Got you covered. Good shot, right?
Enemies coming in hot. Can someone heal me? Damn it!
Disgraceful.
Rise from the ashes!
Come on.
Feeling warm yet?
Such a ball.
Too easy.
Who's a pretty kitty? You are.
Brighter than a shooting star!
Do your worst, or I will.
Oh!
Feeling better yet?
We'll show them a trick or two.
Let the kitsune guide you! Supernova ready! Greetings, Earthlings!
Come closer. I won't bite.
I'm feeling it.
Prove your skill.
I'm in the groove.
Be uplifted!
Incredibile.
Victory is at hand.
That will annoy it! Next try!
F it up.
Magnifique.
Thank you for sticking through us through the delays today on our final day of the OWCS boot camp, but we are soon to be ready to get into our next map in our second semi-final here between Twisted Minds and Team Liquid Evil here with Avast solving a few problems behind the scenes. There were some issues with the bans that took place, and as we move into future maps Avast, there will be unfortunately a couple of, how should we say, I think Twisted Minds will be losing a hero ban into the next map, if I've read this correctly.
Yes, essentially what we've had here is that there is a bit of a dispute apparently around the banning process for Twisted Minds, and because of that and the delays that have caused, they are unfortunately getting a violation from admins. So they're keeping their map select, but they are losing out their hero ban. We're not familiar entirely of the specifics, but because of these delays, there has been a second violation imposed upon them from the admins here, which means they're losing the hero ban for the next upcoming map. The map pick is still available. We're not entirely sure of all the specifics around that, but it seems to be an issue regarding them arguing here with the admin staff regarding just what has happened with the hero bans. So that is, for full transparency, what has occurred. It's mostly been the issues around the hero bans here for Twisted Minds, and because of that, they're losing the hero ban for the next map, their option to hero ban.
Right, and importantly, they do get to keep the map choice alive, and we spent quite a bit of time discussing where the options are to take us into further maps. Importantly, they did get one of their good bans into play already on Esperanza, with the Vendetta already having been used, so they wouldn't have had that ban available in future. May be interesting to think about what they could have banned. Moving to the next map might have been a protect priority, depending on where they really want to focus their attention on. We'll see also if they've made any potential substitutions or if Jay will continue playing forward. But a scoreline update, we are still at 2-0 Team Liquid at match point. We're about to head into map number 3. Hybrid or Escort are the options.
Yes, and so for Hero, obviously with no Hero ban, it does limit their option a little bit. But Twisted Minds is still a relatively flexible team, of course. So still waiting to see, like you were talking about, Avril, are there going to be any substitutions? Are they going to make any changes? Where are we going to for the next map? In general, for this team, there is a bit of a break and a pause that's happened here. Luckily, we haven't reached, Weibo level 1s just yet. We haven't gotten to that point. But I do think that overall it does change up the momentum of the game in the series a little bit, right? Having that break, it always is going to be a bit of a mental reset for players, whether you're winning or losing coming into the next map in the series. So it could honestly be potentially a positive thing, despite, the ruling that was put in place because of this time violation regarding the admin. So it could still be a potentially positive mental aspect for Twisted Minds, but also could be a buff for Liquid, right? We really don't know yet until we get into the server, but it does give a little bit of breathing room between, these back-to-back map losses for Twisted Minds heading into the next map. And it is going to be Ike involved.
So we're heading over towards Hybrid. I had speculated that maybe Gibraltar could have been a good choice. I'm thinking about maps where TVNT can make full use of the D.Va to shut down Tree, in particular, who is seeming to be the hit scan menace, absolutely outplaying Quartz in the previous couple of maps, particularly at Esperanza. Really wanted to see more out of the Sojourn. Of course, I think he will still continue playing that. Although Cassidy pretty good on this map. Have to consider the fact that the Cat City combo between Jibbacat and Cass is one that has been played several times here. Dominant also quite powerful here, but importantly, I think TVNT will be looking to lock the D.Va at least on the offensive side. They might not have a ban, but they get to play, I would say, the majority of the heroes they really want to play.
For sure, and Team Liquid going to be dropping their ban, and as a reminder, Twisted Minds not getting a ban on this map because they were not able to comply with the choice there, with the time limit to choose a hero and a map going into this. They will not be getting to follow an initial ban here. Just Liquid getting the Tracer ban they want, which, at face value is an advantage.
Tracer means we're going to be enabling the Vendetta here, given that, typically speaking, they play in the same spot from the same player, Zera and Jwoo, piloting those heroes. The Tracer gone, all but guarantee that we are absolutely going to see Vendetta on this map. Jwoo probably doesn't really have any choice but to lock it in. I haven't seen him pull out the sim. That wasn't really a hero he's been known for, even back when he was on Virtus Pro. And of course, no substitutions for Twisted Minds either. I'm not too sure if there was a ban that would have severely helped out Twisted Minds here anyway, but they're going to have to make do with what they got, and what they got is a reverse sweep required. Let's head into map 3.
And we're back, Avril. We've made it into the map. We're here. RuPaul doing a little bit of skating around. We're finally getting ready, and as a reminder, only going to be the Tracer ban because of that admin penalty imposed upon Twisted Minds for just not being able to comply within the ban time limit earlier.
I suppose a ban that would have potentially have helped out Team Liquid would have been a Zarya ban to remove it from Infected and make sure that the bubble combo onto the Vendetta is not available to allow Zera to just get away with everything he wants to. Twisted Minds, as expected, will be putting TVNT back on the D.Va. The D.Va he received play of the match on yesterday. He was able to carry the game with, and now possibly use this to shut down Tree a little bit. So we're in the backline. He's really flanked.
Cover Tree already finding the pick onto Astro. There's going to be the dive though. Simple TVNT committing into the back. Going to find Tree in return. And now TVNT on the point, looking for the next move, looking to find someone they can catch out ideally here.
You lose one, but your players will regroup a little bit quicker. You have a respawn advantage here, and Tree's going to have to spend his slides just to try and get back on towards the point. Quartz low HP, but still alive for now. Looking for more targets as Jwoo in the backline. TVNT to follow through. Infected gone. Tree finally returns, but maybe a little too late because his team is folded around him. Team Liquid likely here to lose the first point. Twisted Minds with a cap.
And TVNT on the D.Va, a difference maker there. Just going for the flank, having Simple join him for that as well, using the Kiriko TP and that mobility, the damage there. And TVNT finding all of those limbs. Quartz was in the kill feed, but let's be honest, we saw the feed itself, and TVNT was doing the majority of that damage.
That's exactly what he was doing to T1 yesterday as well. So, Vendetta or not, Zarya or not, which by the way is a pretty decent matchup into the D.Va, mind you. The fact that TVNT was willing to sacrifice a player on his team to Tree finding a shot, and then TVNT striking from behind completely unscouted, I mean, ends up paying dividends by getting rid of Tree that early. And now, this is a great hero for B. Consider the fact that D.Va, the high ground, low ground mobility, superior to what Infected is going to do in Zarya.
Yeah, Infected, I mean, pretty much going to have to wait for the right moment to go anchor the point here, or maybe use Bubbles onto a player like Zira. Just get the contest. It is going to be Bubbles for Zira, who has a bit more mobility, trying to maintain the high ground, but Infected going to have to drop soon enough, because really right now,
simple,
they're just... Yeah, I see that. I see what's happening there. Rush is up. Rush about to be up a RuPaul as well. And here comes the chase onto Infected.
He's caught. He might be dead here. He has to be very careful to stay alive. The healing barely keeping him in play, but not for much longer because TVNT is once again on the hunt. He'll lose his neck, but he's got a remake available. Vega, 98% to the sound barrier. Not quite close enough to save his team. And Twisted Minds, this is the momentum they've been waiting for. This is the guy on camera playing the hero he's been waiting to play.
Now Liquid are going to have 4 ults coming up. Soon to be 5, but 4 ults available here, including a grab with no bomb here for TVNT, so you can't really just stack the point. The Rush being used for RuPaul. Here they come. There's going to be the Sundering Blade. Doesn't find anyone, and Zero immediately down, though.
Takes a little bit of time for Funny Usher to build his response sound barrier. Double support ultimate's in, but Jwoo still finds Vega regardless. Tree gets his mark on course, but is it enough? Tree needs a lot more work done here. He just doesn't have the team support around him. Zero fell so early in that fight, and Twisted Minds, they've got B capped as well in record time with 5 minutes in the time bank for C now.
I mean, the reversal here is insane. The TVNT D.Va, I mean, definitely paying dividends currently. And the grab from Infected, I mean, losing Zero like we called out so early means there was no damage there. They couldn't finish up any of those players that were caught in the grab. Now you're on last point with Zarya, definitely increases the value. And here's the engage.
God. Quartz back in action. That's the shot he needed. Zero taken down 98%, but Tree responds with his own overclock. Tree still getting the better of Quartz when it really matters. However, 4 versus 4. It's not over. TM still have the capability of pushing forward here. Infected now no longer having to worry about the high ground, low ground, can anchor the point and the payload with a ground-based Zarya. Twisted Minds have run out of gas for this particular fight. Waiting for a reset, waiting for respawners.
However, relatively charged for Infected, so they have to respect that Zarya energy a bit. Don't want to feed a lot of free grab there to Infected. Rush up for Simple very soon. Thundering Blade available for Zira, so they can play it slow, look for the engage, maybe look for the punish as Zira's playing these off angle here, and they have to be aware of Zira, right? They don't want him to just be a free ult, a free engage in the backline.
Free ult is played though. Simple in, and here comes TVNT chasing so fast. Quicker is going to be Vega going back to spawn here. Zero trying to control space, but Simple's got his mark here. 4 players. TVNT has a remake. If he does go down, RuPaul finally responds. Wait for Infected though. Grab is going to be available. Funny Usher should have his beat in time to block that one through. Zero's free spawn, so Twisted Minds not going to have the opportunity to play the 5v4.
And there's the grab into spawn. Catches to the beat. Vega doesn't get beat. The pressure there onto Vega. The rail from 14. There's no beat now for Vega.
Low and dead, Tree gone as well. TVNT carrying the day, giving Quartz the space to play through. And a grab that doesn't do enough with Funny Astro in position to block it all. And Vega will end this one on 91% to sound barrier, just short of what is required to maybe allow Liquid another fight. But this is what Twisted Minds look like when TVNT gets to be put in the driver's seat again.
And maybe just what Twisted Minds needed. Maybe they thrive off of having a little controversy there, not having a ban, getting late to the map, because it feels like the momentum is all back here. TVNT on the D.Va just leading the charge, but in general, everyone hitting shots again. Port showing up on the kill feed. Jwoo keeping Zira in check as well. And with Vega not even building a beat at all. Very tough defense there for Liquid, but can always turn it around. And I mean, an over 3-minute bake as well on Eichenwald is a very, very good cap time.
Like, you're going to get something like that when you have a flawless attack where you get no fight losses. Speaking of Zero, TVNT, 0 deaths, 16-0. This is the power of a world-class tank player on your team. Might not have had this level of impact on the Domina or the Zarya, but in the hands of TVNT here, piloting the mech of D.Va, Team Liquid are struggling now in this matchup as it is a speedrun attack record 308 on the clock for Twisted Minds.
So JWoo on the Pharah here as well to play this central pillar, play this vertical geometry around the map, just try to put in rockets and have Liquid. I mean, it's tough to contest the Pharah as long as JWoo has really good control. It's okay. The rocket there followed up with the damage from TVNT. Vega gone already. There's a lot of focus infected now, swapping to the D.Va here into the Pharah.
This
and also the Echo
well.
coming out for Zero.
Yeah, very important because now you want to have a capability to actually contest this fire in the sky. Infected's feeling like Azari's not doing enough in this matchup, needs a little bit more mobility, especially as you want to scale into the B point as well. But Zero's not holding back at all. The Vendetta, not getting as much value as he was yesterday. JWoo's not on the Vendetta either. Zero just wants to knock JWoo out of the sky. Or the opposite happens.
Well,
JWoo outplaying Zero is huge.
That's very big because typically you're going to favor the Echo in that duel. Now TVNT looking to chase. The rest of Twisted Minds coming on forward. They're going to find Tree as well. Quartz lighting up the kill feed a bit more now. Coming alive to the chase. Still ongoing.
Nearly into spawn there as well. TVNT boosters forward. As Twisted Minds are letting Liquid know that they're back in play here. The reverse sweep is potentially on here. This continues as time begins to run out. Team Liquid, remember, they have to finish the entire map, and well, to get 308, they'd have to play flawlessly. That's not happening right now, so they just need to get any time available to finish at all. But it starts with getting a good fight on A.
This could be an opportunity, knowing that the Suzu's already been used. So Minds just playing this pillar. Looking for the opportunity. They still know there's no Suzu tree. Going in deep. Gonna likely get chased down, but no, not. But Zero instead actually gonna really want to fall.
That's massive. Again, Zero just can't beat JWoo in the skies when really the Echo had the advantage here. TVT finds RuPaul as RuPaul drops in the Yelp. Vega falls. Also Liquid are melting as Team Twisted Minds showing the World Championship caliber. Infected resetting off the map, and questions to be asked now. What did Liquid do from this? Because even going towards counterpicks, Infected on D.Va, Zero, and Echo, JWoo is being a menace in the skies. TVNT still flawless, no deaths. And Twisted Minds about to sit on 5 ults.
That's just a disastrous fight overall. Like you said, the stakes are pretty high here now. They aren't going to have the rush. Double support for Twisted Minds, a full bank. In fact, as now the entry happening here for Liquid. The rockets still landing here for JWoo.
Barrage, yes sir. Just for you, Zera. That one is signed, sealed, and delivered, and so is the rest of the package for the rest of the Team Liquid members. A massive 5k, 2 ultimates spent. Really cheap when you think about it. And a last minute remaining now for Liquid to push.
They're going to have beat. They're going to have double DPS ult here. I mean, technically you get an extra ult out of it, theoretically, with the copy, with the dupe coming out for the Echo. But still, with Astro having the beat available, they can counter that. Quartz likely going to be looking to pop that overclock here. Less than a minute remaining now for Liquid to potentially get this first, keep them alive for the map. Obviously, this will be fine for the series.
Tree desperate for that kill. Well, we've seen him do that before. Quartz is going to go first. Double sound barriers, looking like they'll both land here. Quartz goes down early, but so does Tree. It's going to be the copy now from Zero. 2 D.Vas on the field. 3, in fact, when you count the fact there's 2 original ones. No more ultimates to be played through unless Zero can find this D.Va bomb. TVNT still gets RuPaul in the middle of the melee. Vega falls, which means no more healing. And Zero hasn't done enough on this Echo copy at all. Twisted Minds are still in effect. Infected demeched and 20 seconds left. There might not be another fight.
And because Astro gets the boot too, I mean, Astro 60% to another beat already. Rush is going to be up in 10 seconds here on the board. Vega going to go to the cat, try to get the touch. You see the very aggressive hold here for Twisted Minds, trying to find any of these players streaming back.
Vega going to go for the touch here. He's the fastest hero. Vega goes down. And that is the first death now. No more supports. TVNT, heat-seeking missile, denies RuPaul from using the Kitsune Rush. And Twisted Minds will deny Team Liquid from the full-on sweep. No hero ban, no problem. TM are back.
I'm not going to lie, if I'm Twisted Minds after this one, I might start hitting an emote. I might start hitting an emote on Liquid. Losing the ban. Coming into the series, into the map, down 2-0. Then record, I mean, not quite record cap, but full tap there for Ikevolt in a very quick fashion, and then a first hold dominantly as well. I might just hit an emote if I was Twisted Mind.
What a tough game. I mean, again, Liquid even went to the counters. Credit to JWoo as well, bringing out the flyer. bit of a rare pick in current meta, even previous meta, as far as a very niche hero, only played by a few heroes at the who plays at the professional level. This guy on your screen right here, he copped 2 player swaps on the other side just to deal with the fact that there was a Pharah in the field. Zero no longer interested in playing the Vendetta when, well, you gotta do something against the Pharah, and Vendetta has no real gameplay against the Pharah at all. So you have both an Echo and a Diva coming through from Liquid, and it wasn't enough. The fact that Jaewoo was repeatedly winning against Zera in the skies when Echo counters Pharah in the skies is a huge problem, as Source has to figure this out now for Liquid. We'll see what the next map is after this.
Nice guys.
Exciting turnaround for Twisted Minds. 2 maps down, requiring a reverse sweep in the first step, and achieving that one, done in stunning fashion. This is what I'm talking about. The Diva ban is gone. TVNT gets to put on the pilot boots again, flying into trees, shutting down what was the biggest threat on Team Liquid, and now Team Liquid are the ones that need to find answers.
After a loss like that, it's definitely going to have any team reeling currently, despite the advantage they had going into that map. But for Liquid, still have opportunities, of course, to close out this series, regain a little bit of composure. Twisted Minds looking pretty good spirits over here, which, I mean, I would be after a win like that. And TVNT, you put this guy on the Diva, he is a difference maker. And we talked about it previously, we've seen it before, even last year. What a player here for this squad. Just seems so incredibly dominant on that hero in particular.
Now you start to look towards what is remaining in the hero, or rather the map pool. Has to be Escort next. When you consider the Escort options, Ground Game is good. Havana, good. Shambali, good. Avoiding Gibraltar, probably the name of the game here for Team Liquid. You want to drag this one to a ground tank battle. Likely TVNT will try and still play that D.Va. We know that Infected is good at the Sigma, so Havana, which is a great Sigma map, could be the right call and the right choice here for Team Liquid. This would be the best way to prevent TVNT from finding the same level of success that he found in the last map. And more importantly than that, as we do in fact have Havana, once we get to map 5, remember, it is mandatory dominant from both teams. So even if Twisted Minds get to map 5, which is looking more and more likely, consider the fact that TVNT will not be able to play D.Va on that final map. So TM have their work cut out for them still. The job is not yet done.
I think another also hidden angle of danger, as well as we get to some of these escort maps, especially with the long sight lines, is that Vega, RuPaul, very flexible backline. And look, yeah, they're going to ban the Lucio, which I love, because Vega loves not having to play Lucio. Regardless of the Vega Ajax memes, I do think he's a player that has a lot of flexibility comparatively. I like the idea of banning the Lucio, removing the Lucio Curie from Twisted Minds, and forcing a potentially slower double flex.
I think they should have banned Sigma here. Twisted Minds may have misstepped a little bit. Zarya is not the tank. I mean, when you look at what Team Liquid are basically showing you, if the Lucio ban comes in, it means that Vega and RuPaul are going to play double flex support. You know there's probably going to be a Vega Wu Yang in there. RuPaul might even be on the Ana. Could be on the Alari. Could be a Bap in play. Simple is going to be good on those heroes. Funny Astra, the only hero that he can go to when there's no Lucio, and we're in a double flex support environment, he's going to have to go to the Wu Yang. Zarya, I don't think it's going to be a necessary factor here. Infected, in my mind, was always going to play Sigma, and as we get into the map, let's see if that's true.
Potentially some very impactful hero bans here for Havana. Liquid, I think, coming out a bit ahead, like you were talking about with this ban. However, no Zarya on the field is still nice because it can make sure that TVNT is able to force this D.Va without much fear. But obviously Sigma, like we were talking about earlier, making his way here onto the field for Liquid for Infected.
The real difference to talk about here is that Vega's not going to be the double flex support. The Brig here, just to make sure that TVNT struggles a little bit more. If you really are concerned that TVNT will stay on the D.Va as he has, having the Brig for the whip shot, having the capability to put a little bit of CC on the TVNT will slow the gameplay of Twisted down, as well as the fact that there is no Lucio. The Funny Astro wants to play for speed, and Twisted Minds want to speed engage. Juno is the next best option.
Zero using the dash to get away, instead choosing not to fight that off angle really effectively. TVNT takes the high ground. Gonna be peppering Infected, and here comes the Rika as Zira. Vega up into the high ground, taking a lot of damage. Has to be careful. Good sleep from RuPaul.
Space taken though. Twisted Minds gaining more map control as the payload moves forward. Zero trying to just contest at least slightly onto the high ground as Corte's angle is superior to anything that Tree can find at the moment. And as the damage comes through on both sides, we're looking at where the ultimates are. Nicely, but TVNT still makes it into the high ground. Now he has a back angle, an off angle, up against the players on the side of Liquid.
TVNT with the back angle of Doom, one could say, but unfortunately no one's going down. Jewu though, I think also, Jewu was finding that very important limb now. Jewu staying alive here. No nano up for RuPaul just yet, and there's so much point pressure right here for Twisted Minds. They have to get the contest.
They got a cap. Corte's is just done. Tree, who was the last player there that could contest, and TVNT will now get the cleanup kill on towards Vega. Team Liquid, a very slow start. Mind you that Team Liquid the entire way through, as we get into this poor situation, they were just losing map control, losing portions of the map bit by bit, piece by piece, and the real estate being gobbled up by Twisted Minds as Team Liquid just get forced out of the A point entirely.
So pause going to be coming out. Twisted Minds still with TVNT on the D.Va, looking really confident. Once again, Vega having a bit of a mic issue. This is the second Vega mic issue so far this series, so they're silencing him. They're silencing my boy. Let him speak. Now we're just waiting
A
to
main
get back
support
in.
is speaking, listen and learn. As Brigida probably didn't bring it slow things down. I mean, has to make TVNT a little bit more careful. RuPaul being on Ana, I mean, I did say this was likely going to be the case. However, consider that D.Va is great into Ana. Ana can get all of her utility and the healing completely eaten away by the D-Matrix if TVNT is on point, and I think he's on point.
Listen, that's all well and good. Do you see RuPaul take control there? Do you see him come in so dominant? Take control of his support duos.
Did he frame log
PC
Vega
here?
there? By
He absolutely.
lurching
You
over
just
him?
know, when you want to listen and learn when a main support is speaking, but Vega will be listening when RuPaul is talking to him. And I love the dynamic we're seeing it play here between the two. A little bit of care me happening here. It's not just for healing in game, it's for tech healing as well. But definitely still back to the game at hand.
Okay, so check this out.
Has come through.
RuPaul respawning 96%, but there's no good nano targets just yet. Infected, he's going to have a flux as well. This might end up just being a dry nano onto Zero to enable him to maybe get into the back line, because otherwise Team Liquid don't really have any initiation tools yet.
And with no boops and no speed boost here outside of the ring for Funny Astro, they're really reliant on the Suzu, and that's a good anti there onto Jwoo.
Just going to use the nano onto Infected to push him forward and allow him to take some space back from Twisted Minds. TM largely respecting that despite using their own Kitsune rush. Now losing a little bit of space, but once Vega goes down at Jwoo, they can now re-aggress and look for attention onto the backline of Liquid, who are hiding away slightly here. Payload continuing to push.
And Blade is up. RuPaul has to play really scared right now too, because without Vega, doesn't have those packs for the heal. Infected likely going to need to save the Flux for the Blade here, potentially, because they don't have a lamp, they don't have a Suzu. The ult bank is really rough here for Liquid.
Jwoo in first, looking for two targets. Disruptor shot and the Flux all being used here to try and slow him down. The Flux, though, did prevent the Blade from connecting. However, TNT finds Infected on the backline. Zero now, the opportunity to maybe carry the day. He's going to have to do it, but he's got no teammates. It's him versus the world, and the world is winning because Twisted Minds have already capped. Where is he is a great question on the wrong side of the point, and now he's back in spawn.
Where? I would love to see what happened with the Blade there. It looks like they were chasing Simple and some of the other players outside of the point. And they were just completely off that point there, and then the orbital ray goes down for Funny Astro, so it was a very easily handed cap for Twisted Minds. And now Liquid, they're going to have the overclock. They're 70% to a nano, but Twisted Minds continuing another great pace here for Havana. No antis from Liquid just yet. Again, for this D.Va comp and the aggression that's coming to play here for Twisted Minds.
It's just a speed run so far. I mean, this is a great time bank so far for Twisted Minds, having also lost 0 fights. Tree and Quartz looking for this OC situation. Infected does have shield and kinetic grasp to maybe impact Quartz's ability to hit targets, but TVNT also can mark Tree with the D-Matrix here as Jwoo is potentially caught. Deflect is good, but he can't get out of dodge. 0 plus Disruptor Shot will take him down. Vega falls in response, which is not great for Liquid. And with 0 down on top of that, Liquid are down numbers. This is 3v4. Jwoo respawning. Now the nano coming on in. This is the opportunity. Tree overclocking, takes down Quartz. One of the overclocks is gone and off the map. But speaking of, the Tree nearly falls himself. Eventually dies to TVT, who seems to be all over the map. Every single player in trouble with TVT flying into their face.
I mean, you see here too, Infected on the Sigma just feels like very limited presence currently. At no point has Infected been able to lock down the background, or the back line rather, as the rush used for Simple. TVNT in 0 though, gonna find Quartz. That's a very important pick.
Big purple on the back line there. Simple gets caught. TVNT still hurting from that, and Funny Astro might not have enough healing to have Twisted Minds continue playing this fight. So finally a reset required for TM, and I think Liquid, a much needed breath of air.
About 3 minutes here in the bank. Bomb gonna be up. Blade about to be up as well for Twisted Minds. Liquid though, probably gonna wait for a Nano Blade for this fight. They're gonna have the Flux as well, but with a rally, they don't have to worry about using it here to peel for Jwoo, to peel against Jwoo rather with the Blade. So a lot more in the bank for Liquid currently, a very strong defensive position. As Twisted Mind's gonna come up here for the contest.
Some cooldowns though. RuPaul used the Bionair. Will be up very soon. Jwoo looking for the angle on the Blade. You caught it, Nano Blade, as Liquid are looking forward to a lot of ultimates here. Zero in the lead, looking for the backliner. Force has slid away, so he's going to have to deal with somebody else. Funny Astro gone, but Tree also gone on the opposite end, and Jaywood doesn't even have a Nano. 4-4, Rally still running for Vega, as the Orbital Ray runs out for Funny Astro. Twisted Mind still looking to fight this one through. Funny Astro coming back on a cat right now, but it seems to have slowed down. TM waiting for backup.
And Liquid still just playing it a little slow, not able to find anyone just yet, but the ults get traded. Bomb still up, Simple though with the rush, so likely Twisted Mind's gonna play a little poke, hope to find a pick, and if they don't, just commit with the rush. But TVNT in so deep!
And Infected, nothing to do there to unfortunately be able to save Vega. Infected down now as well. TVNT's got a remix, so he's fine. Payload pushing on through. Liquid are down 2 numbers. They need plays to come into support. Tree can't go for the touch. Zera is stuck somewhere as Jaywood annihilates RuPaul, denying anything further coming through from Team Liquid. I'll be honest though, Team Liquid did drag the timer down, but 1:52 on the clock is still quite a lot for Havana.
And also a troubling trend still, again, is the response to the TVNT Diva, right? You said like, oh, we'll play Sigma here. I just don't feel like Infected Sigma has had any presence here on the map whatsoever. There's been at no point have the backline felt particularly pressured from him. He's even called there that last point where TVNT goes in. Is it rocked? Is it found? Isn't it stopped? And that's ideally one of the moments where you want the Sigma to potentially hit that peel or at least deny some of the support coming out to that to the front line. So there has to be an answer.
Brigga's one of the better heroes from the support side as well to maybe deny the Diva. TVNT is looking like a man undeniable right now. He somehow gets onto the back line and just destroys Vega, where it doesn't seem like anything that Twisted Minds, or rather Team Liquid, are doing are stopping this Diva at all. You mentioned it. Infected's not even looking in the right direction. He doesn't even realize that Vega is basically already dead by the time that Infected's turn around. Vega's gone. The utility, I'm not too sure if it was even there. Maybe the rock was already used and TVNT was just biding his time, waiting for that moment, but he strikes with such ferocity that it's crazy how easily he gets into that back line and finds a kill.
Definitely need to see a little bit more coming out here from Liquid. Zero still putting up some solid numbers when possible, but even Twisted Minds just playing the split so well versus those Nano Blades, making sure they're not losing anyone to it. Tree tried to get a little cheeky pick with the Widow, not going to find anyone. Infected staying with the Sigma. And RuPaul now off the Ana, playing the Kiriko here. So instead of playing for this Nano Blade, maybe playing for a little bit more survivability, with the option to play the off angles a bit more effectively, especially considering that TVNT Diva into Ana, a very good matchup.
Into a bit of a weird comp between Liquid, but I do think the Kiriko offers a bit more, especially on the utility side, but not enough to stop
again.
TVNT. He just gets 2. I mean, this guy is unstoppable right now. Infected completely on the opposite side of the map here, controlling space indoors. He'll get taken down by Quartz. What are you supposed to do against this guy? How do you stop TVNT right now? Because it doesn't look like it's possible.
And right there, that was really a comedy of errors, though, because you see that Zera takes that Genji duel, doesn't get the mini, has to back up, and RuPaul drops the TP, uses that to get close, and then is caught because there's no TP anymore. Zero had already backed up, and then TVNT just sees those 2 players there on the flank, goes in. So a bit of a mistake there on Liquid's part as well. TVNT just capitalizing on it. And Tree trying to find the rail for anyone on high ground.
But by the way, look how fast TVNT reacts. As soon as Infected sends the rock, TVNT presses the go button. He's looking for targets. As soon as Infected doesn't have the peel ability, and Infected on Sigma is too slow to do anything else to combat this Diva. In fact, he's in trouble now. He needs to make sure he doesn't go down. TVNT all over the map, working with Jaywood on the sidelines as well. Vega caught once more. Funny Astro adding himself into the kill feed as well. And this is just a cleanup once again. Liquid are so slow to move up and do anything. At least Jaywood will get traded, but that's all they're getting.
I mean, TVNT is the shark. TVNT is an actual shark in the water right now. If he senses blood, if he sees anyone half HP, he comes over, runs in, hits him with the car. Hits him with the car real quick, with the Diva mech. Just runs him over there with that burst damage the Diva can bring. And the coordination now with Twisted Minds, in particular with TVNT, to just follow up on that damage is so crucial. And again, I point towards the Sigma
that's
and ask,
unacceptable.
Where's the value? Where's the value
be dying.
here?
That's just a free reset. Okay, TVNT is overcommitted potentially. No, just a rock. Doesn't lose his mech. That's good. Flux coming on through. In fact, he's getting desperate here. Who's he going to look for? Suzu regardless, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Simple had the counter ready to move, and TM is sitting on 5 ults by the way, and they're going to use all of them now. Xerac is a deflect on course. That's a good start for Team Liquid. They needed something like that. Still plenty of ults to use on the side of Twisted Minds, and slowly but surely it seems like Team Liquid might be falling apart. TVNT still uncontested, 3 versus 3. Xerac still slicing away, looking to demake, but doesn't have one more blade to get that done. And finally, that is like the first death I've seen on TVNT in what feels like a long time.
And what a fight there from Xera. Xera again, I mean, gets the reflect onto Quartz during the orbital ray, has the blade ready, position himself properly to clean up and remove JWoo. JWoo now going to the Tracer here for the recontest. The rush is available, so no support ults here for Liquid, by the way. Tree has to have a hero moment.
Oh, JWoo. JWoo's getting the hero moment treatment from RuPaul's POV right now, and Tree, he might just deliver a little bit more. TVNT low HP, Simple gone. That's the backline basically fraud and Twisted Minds. Quartz can only do so much. TVNT cannot return back to the mech. Vega gets his revenge late in the day, but when it actually counts, Quartz is just going to have to return to the spawn room for the rest of his team. Team Liquid waking up in the final moments here to cap.
And they needed a hero moment. That means they actually had to have a hero moment. There was no other possibility there. RuPaul delivering some of that veteran experience, getting the pick on a JWoo, and then Tree finding another pick onto Simple. And finally, we see a little bit of Sigma value from Infected, just locking down Quartz. And you really want to see Infected control this high ground versus the D.Va, right? You want to see him get some rock, build a flux, knock them out here for free, especially knowing that Twisted Minds does not have much in the tank.
Especially early on, but no, that Infected is split from the rest of his team because you see through the walls and the silhouettes as well. Infected very far into the side. He's ulting right now. He might even just be solo here. I don't know if he caught anybody by the flux.
I don't think he got anyone.
So some low HP on the side of Twisted Minds, but it's actually Xera that dies regardless of the HP bars of Twisted. So Team Liquid are the ones that are slowing down a little bit, waiting for respawn.
Now with that pick, Liquid have to play it slow. 2 minutes here in the bank. Orbital Ray being built up here for Astro. They're going to engage Tree very low, but they're not going to find him. And now they can play for the rush here, potentially. They know that the booster there, some cooldown's been used here.
Xera in trouble here. Suzu being used. Paul sending through that Kitsune rush. Simple a little bit low. Funny Astro waiting for his moment for the orbital ray, and Tree finds Simple. So 4 players still alive for Twisted Minds, but the orbital ray is good. It allows JWoo to get the damage necessary to kill Xera. Still though, back and forth trades 3 versus 3. Vega, the rally should be the difference maker here. Should allow now Team Liquid to consolidate together as their trio.
There's the heals too. Vega keeping Infected alive. The Mega Pack going to be grabbed over from TVNT. So the movement again from this D.Va. TVNT just staying in this fight, being a nuisance. Both support ults used now, so Simple gets to come back in here with a rush. The Blade's going to be up for JWoo as well.
Tree, Xera, both looking for their own ultimates. Quartz not far behind. TVNT now has a remake available. That'll be powerful. Tree instantly defensive matrix. Look at TVNT. He wants Tree bad, but TVNT is taking a bit too much damage here. And in the meantime, Infected deleting Quartz away. Still though, Vega will fall. 4 versus 4. TVNT blows Xera up. That's going to be an extra kill in the favor of Twisted Minds. And time is running out here. Team Liquid can only afford a couple more resets.
And the Shark in the water again. Infected also probably going to get delayed here. Stagger occurring. It's going to be brutal, guaranteeing there's only one fight now for Liquid. Flux will be up. They do not want to lose anyone else here, though. They have to be really careful to chase. They're chasing in. They're going in. Xera going to blade them when they're in spawn here with the rush.
Using a lot of ultimates here. Both teams are going to do so, but Xera gets killed. Bonnie Astro obviously traded to start with Quartz. Now the next man up to try and use some ultimates. By the way, 20 seconds touch required. And there's no fast heroes. Who's going to go for the touch? Xera now only just respawning.
TVNT. He gets another. JWoo gets another. 10 seconds here. Flux investing. Liquid. They're going to have to get the touch. They got the touch. They have to get a touch here. They need to get to the point.
Rock doesn't hit anything. Really slow heroes here. Tree going Tracer. 3 seconds left. Who's going to get that touch? Barely. Xera not going to quite get it. Deleted before he can make the final touch happen. And TVNT delivers Twisted Mind yet another map. Even with Havana and the map choice with the bans coming on through, Lucio gone, it wasn't enough. You would think that a Sigma and a Brig should put enough pressure onto TVNT's D.Va, but you'd be wrong.
Liquid just fumbling here towards the end, just not able to close out after that long pause coming off of Eichenwald. And TVNT, like I said, a shark in the water, just finding pick after pick after pick, the positioning perfect of earning damage, moving as a unit in 2 with JWoo. This is this 2-man squad. And for Liquid, I mean, I have to point back again to this Sigma composition and just not able to find anything. But we're going to see this map of the series coming up. Team Liquid versus Twisted Minds.
Get you in! Nice.
Point back. Get your right side. Nice.
Second map 5 in our second semi-finals of the day here for preseason boot camp in OWCS. The 2026 season is really kicking off now. Really close games here, super competitive series, and now they're decided between Liquid and Twisted Minds.
I thought maybe it was looking a little over early in the series. We weren't going to get a rematch here to the map 5 to match the Crazy Raccoon Falcons, but of course, the plot armor is too strong. The narrative's too strong, Avril. EMEA versus NA. Best of both the region here. Going to map 5. And remember, for this map 5, it is going to be a slightly different rule set. Domina is going to have to be played. We've seen Infected look pretty good at.
Ooh,
so far,
first time
so a bit of a
Coliseum.
nerf. Yeah, Coliseum as well.
So here's the problem now, and I set this up very early on, but Twisted Minds, they have been finding success on Eichenwald and Nirvana. I mean, significantly so as well, off the back of TVNT Diva. That's not available anymore. The problem here is, because TM are required to get a reverse sweep, and we will definitely be going to a map 5, Domina is enforced as a mandatory tank choice here, regardless of what the map actually is. And because of that, it's a real problem now for Twisted Minds because they have to play Domina where Infected has looked far more comfortable.
Yeah, so that is a pretty big power shift for these squads. But we are going to see, is it going to make the difference? Final map of the series here, Team Liquid versus Twisted Minds. Let's see who comes out on top.
Everything else is available, no bans on this map at all. So as much as, yes, the ruling does negatively affect Twisted Minds disproportionately here, part of that is self-imposed. I mean, you have to be a well-rounded player, you have to be a well-rounded team. You have to be able to deliver on a multitude of heroes in this meta. For this particular game, this particular meta, Domina is one of those heroes, mandatory by nature, map number 5, and
it's Vega. Look at his face. Look at his face, by the way, Avril. Look at Vega's face, and you see RuPaul, everyone shaking their head. It's Vega again. He's the one with the problem. He's looking towards the admin. They're saying, Vega, what's going on? It's the mic. It's the mic again. They want to silence him. They want to silence him. They don't want him. They don't want him here in the series.
Well,
it's an incredible turn of events for Vega.
Something fishy in the water here, but I'm sure we'll get that sorted out. I'm sure there's another mic they can get him. But yeah, we got a little bit of sneak peek of what we could potentially see on this opening map as players were kind of hovering their initial picks. Obviously, there could still be some changes, but largely it's going to appear to be a Lucio Kiriko backline, Domina enforced with Quartz and Tree obviously on the Sojins. Jwoo's locked in the Tracer for the time being, Zero hovering over the Echo, but I don't know how serious Zero actually is. More than likely, Zero will either be Vendetta or Tracer.
Definitely a good, solid bet there for see either of those heroes come out for Zero, especially on this map. You can get a little bit of the lore buff. A little bit of the lore buff, of course, from Vendetta, as we wait to get to see this issue resolved for Vega's mic. And right now for Liquid, I mean, this is as much a mental game as it is the actual being on your game in terms of a macro mechanical wise, because you're in a potential reverse sweep situation. It's been 2 brutal map losses. So now Liquid really have to get their head in the game, show that they have what it takes to be that top competitor, which is because sometimes you're just going to be falling behind a bit despite being in the lead. And you know, this is a team of some veteran talent, so I have no doubt that they can do it. But definitely a tough situation to be in here for Team Liquid.
Back against the wall when momentum is in Twisted Minds' favor, considering that it's all well and good to be 2-0 up in the series. You would think that most teams would probably crumble under the pressure of being the team that has to reverse sweep.
Hello, crowd.
Put your hand up if you're in the crowd. But
there they are. There's our crowd.
Have dealt with that more so, and now you're having the reverse situation where Team Liquid, they're at being reverse sweeped, which means, I mean, that in and of itself is a huge amount of pressure.
All right, now for Twisted Minds, I mean, they have to be feeling really good coming into this because they just had some, I would say, tough circumstances themselves heading to this reverse sweep. And without a doubt, Avril, I mean, regardless of the outcome of this series, you still have to walk away from this being TVNT is such a difference maker for this team. And the strength of D.Va, in particular, in his hands, and just the power of that mobility and the burst damage is incredibly strong here. Even though some of the players may be having slightly quieter performances, in particular Quartz, like we've talked about. And then for Liquid, you look to the comps, you talk about the Vendetta here for Zira, and you wonder, is there going to be any changes in the backline potentially again, or are we just going to try to mirror this Lucio Kiriko repeatedly? Because I feel like for both these squads, they probably do just want to play the Lucio Kiri. But I could see Vega theoretically making a swap to maybe empower the flank a bit more. But on a map like Colosseo, you really do want to have that speed boost available. But Cat is definitely a viable option, honestly.
I think if you go Cat, you have to start considering combos. You would have to drag Tree over to Cast to really make it work. Because the ultimate really not providing enough value, considering the difference between a sound barrier versus a catnap. I think the choice is clear on that one, of which one will have a higher chance of delivering you a win. But let's lock into the actual heroes. Chosen Zero has in fact locked in for this Echo. And as the crowd gets hyped, let's get into the final map of our second semi-finals. Winner takes on Crazy Raccoon in the grand finals, all to play for between TL and TM.
Zero actually with the Echo here, looking to use some of these angles around this first area that we're going to be fighting here around the bot. We'll get some poke. The C-Quartz peeking around. Not finding anyone just yet. Lucio Kiriko over both squads here, as the pokes will happen.
Liquid still looking for something around the sides of the map, and Quartz will just eat a bunch of damage as he explores that same area himself. Again, a risk for Zero to be on this hero, but certainly something that's going to be difficult for team to deal with since they don't have anything that can really attack the sky unless Quartz is really sharp on his aim specifically against Zero. Just slow going in the first minute here before we get either a pick or somebody gets an ult.
Yeah, exactly right. And so much of the ebb and flow currently is just, can they force a recall or a shift out from the DPS Twisted Minds so Zero can get a little bit more aggressive? Twisted Minds trying to take this space here, knowing they have a bit stronger on the ground game with Drew on the Tracer currently, as Zero still looking to find anyone here. Just poking around the flanks. Portal's being built up.
Couple supposed to get popped into the wall, and now finally that's going to be collected upon TBNT low HP. And Twisted Minds starting to buckle under the pressure here as Quartz is the only one to actually get a return kill. Team Liquid strike first blood and multiple more bloods here, so we'll start to get some meters on cap.
Got a little dicey there for a second with the aggression, but good finds for Liquid here. 5 ults about to be up for Liquid as well. It was a really long fight as the pause comes out again here.
Everyone's looking at Vega.
And they're looking at Vega. Is it going to be Vega? Look at him. They're looking at him. They're looking at Vega. It's Vega's mic. They don't, he knows something. They don't want it to come out. I don't know what it is, but something. Vega knows something that they don't want the world to know. Because it is a mic issue again here for Vega. Honestly, can't they just yell at each other? Let's just have them yell at each other across the desk.
Crowd's getting loud in there as well. You can only imagine how hard it might be to hear things, but I mean, I don't think any of them understand Korean, so it's not like they'll get any info from Korean casters. But either case, alrighty, well, we're resuming the game. I don't know if the mic problem got fixed or not, but we're getting back into it. I think Liquid just briefly getting an advantage on the meter. TBNT already half HP, by the way. Funny Ash reminds us to think about ulting here. It's Infected, already sending the Panopticon through, and look at this. Team Liquid looking like they have a major advantage. They will send that one home, continue this push, and TM not really getting much in response at all.
You're definitely starting to see a bit TBNT being off the Diva here, and seeing Infected just feel a bit more comfortable on the Domino. Also, as a clarification, apparently it wasn't a Vega mic issue. They just had some a miscommunication, apparently. So Vega baiting us there just a little bit.
They had a miscommunication because they couldn't hear him, clearly.
Yeah, that must be it. But the recontest going to be happening for Twisted Minds. Advantage right now for Liquid, still holding on to 3 ults. Azura getting to the backline here, brings the pressure down.
Okay, he's looking for something, gets the copy onto the Domino. Now triple Domino on field. TBNT finally gets to use his Panopticon. Not too sure if he really hit too many targets with that one, but it's good enough for course to at least get the kill onto Infected. Simple delivers a little bit more tree falls as well, and finally Twisted Minds, before Team Liquid are allowed to snowball too heavily on the map, will finally get their own meterage on board.
Still, ults being invested across the board for both squads here, so for Liquid, if you can be relatively happy with that, considering that you already have the advantage. It's going to be a pretty neutral fight here. Respawners coming back for Twisted Minds. So we now just want to poke TBNT here off the point a little bit, resume some control, and currently Twisted Minds, they're playing a little split. The spawner's still coming back, but it should be fine now. There isn't really an opening currently as Tree just looking for a head. Going to find anyone with the rail.
Has to get past all the shielding first, and currently just struggling to do so. TBNT making sure his part of the map is covered. Twisted Minds struggling to get around this corner. Vega low HP, and both of the Lucio players are going to end up falling by the wayside. Symbol's going to deliver one extra here as Jay was looking for the pulse bomb. Won't end up getting that hit, but slight player advantage here might just be enough for Twisted Minds to push on further, threaten the cap.
Yeah, Infected going to go down. Off that pressure, they just don't have the off angles controlled anymore, with Zero also going down currently. And J-Ro here on the point just looking to clean up. They're going to keep the bot moving. Liquid trying to play on the high ground, stay away from that man disadvantage they might have currently. Canopy going to be up here for Infected. Rush going to be up as well, so they have some options. As you see Twisted Minds repositioning, knowing about the ult bank, just trying to play in a little bit of a safer position here, potentially.
Well, certainly they don't want to fight uphill best they can. They want to drag Team Liquid down into the dumps. And, well, so far it's only RuPaul being dumped away. TNT follows through 99 to Panopticon. A little bit of a shame there for Twisted Minds. And Jaewoo's getting work done. Triple kill. Jaewoo might just be the hero that Twisted Minds need. In fact, he's going to get the cap. He's got a back cap, which means even if TM loses fight, they got the job done. But it looks like they'll actually win. Jaewoo delivering and then some.
Yeah, Jaewoo there just exploiting the chaos. Infected wanted to fall off after the Panopticon, but Jaewoo just uses that chaos, the mobility, the damage of Tracer, all that flexibility that you have to clean up there on the point, get the cap, and now Liquid not having the second checkpoint. The ults are going to be building up here, but Twisted Minds, you look at the bank here, it's a very strong position to be in.
Here we go. Stronger still because the Katsuna rushes. RuPaul nearly dies there but stays alive. TNT, Funny Ash are all ulting in. An Infected Pulse. Tree gets clocked as well. Team Liquid, only 3 members alive. The green HP is simply not enough because Simple pushing his way through, getting those kills. They already have the cap and now they're going to be threatening to get 100 meters.
Jaewoo and Quartz both still holding on to ults as well. Twisted Minds. This is the Twisted Minds we were expecting heading into the series. Took them a little while to come back out. Maybe a bit of a summoning ritual there. But you expect this team to be so good at the brawl comps when the chaos breaks down, making the right macro plays. As Quartz gonna pop the ult.
Good repulsor though, Infected alleviating pressure. Quartz forced back on out, looking for further targets, and RuPaul finds out exactly what Quartz is talking about. TNT still in the front lines. Vega and Tree falling down as the payload continues moving forward. 1 kill from Infected is going to actually make somewhat of a difference once the respawners come through. Note that Quartz is super far away. When Infected comes back in, they will have a player advantage. Twisted Minds can only push a little bit further before they're forced back on out.
RuPaul there finding that a limb there on the Jaewoo, so Liquid can be really aggressive here for the recontest. But TNT just pushing forward, finding Vega off that damage, the Domina damage, being very strong. And Liquid, they really haven't taken a lot of position off that limb. They need to be taking more space here, ideally, especially with no Tracer on the field.
Brother, TNT has to get out of this situation. He has to consider it at least. But maybe he's not the one in trouble. Maybe Infected's the one in trouble because the players with Twisted Minds that they need to reinforce have simply returned now. And now TM 90% onto Panopticon, waiting for the heals to come under Suzu just to help TNT get back up in there. We've basically evened up in terms of the ults for Panopticons, but we have 127 minutes and counting. Team Liquid are in real trouble.
And additionally, Simple's going to have the rush out of any of the other support ults. Panopticon goes out, no one gets caught, no one gets bound. TNT aggressing now. This could be the full cap.
Infected down. Team Liquid can't afford to lose too many more. TM need a few plays to die here for TL to have any chance of saving the map, because otherwise Twisted Minds, they're just going to deliver this one all the way into Liquid's home. Stab through the heart, and Liquid are going to fall to pieces. Twisted Minds, still the defending world champions, still now going to the grand finals to take the very first title of 2026.
Liquid, unfortunately, doing a bit of a phase of matter change there and solidifying that EMEA is still on top comparatively as of right now. And really for Liquid, a kind of a crushing defeat, a crushing reverse sweep there. The overall just tenacity of Twisted Minds is incredible. I mean, you look at this team, bringing it back, it's always hard to do a reverse sweep this level, especially with the circumstances involved. TVNT still putting on a masterclass. Quartz waking up there a bit. Simple, Jaewoo, the whole team having a great shot, having a great performance in general. And really, you just have to be impressed with the squad.
When it counts, right? I mean, first 2 maps, things were not looking great. The second map in particular was a bit of an ugly one, but whole team on stage here, hands up in the air. What a performance, a reverse sweep. Similar looks to where they were in the World Finals. Remember, T1 had Twisted Minds against the wall in the World Finals last year, and then Twisted Minds reverse swept them. Team Liquid now fully understanding firsthand what that feels like, and it stings. But the best thing about Twisted Minds that we are discovering here is they're not just a D.Va one-trick team. TVNT is looking like the best D.Va I've ever seen so far, but even when the D.Va isn't available, he's proven that when the Dominos come out, and the dominoes start to fall, it falls in Twisted Minds' favor, and that's what makes them potentially still the best team in the world.
100%. The squad is one to be reckoned with across the board. And Liquid, I think you can be relatively happy with their performance, but definitely not ideal way to go out of the tournament. All things considered, it was a close match, but they were in a very strong position. They can take some learnings from this. It is very early in the season, and player of the match is going to be TVNT, which I think is incredibly well. I mean, yeah, they're incredibly well deserved. You can't think of a player that did more across the series, and in particular for Twisted Minds as the winning team than TVNT.
I mean, it was abundantly clear. You know, you look at the first two maps. No D.Va allowed on map 1, obviously, because we're playing the 5 new heroes. Map 2, instantly banned on out. Target ban for TVNT. But guess what? You get to map number 3, and it's a night and day difference. All you had to do was unlock this guy on the hero that he needs to shut down the problem on the other team, which was Tree. And then suddenly, it's a completely different team. And TVNT is a team in and of himself as well. This guy is like 5 players that are capable of playing the game in terms of the power output, all rolled up in one. That's what it looks like from the Team Liquid side of things. How do you deal with them?
Yeah, it definitely calls into question just the strength of D.Va and having such a power of just a really good D.Va player in general on the board here. And maybe something to note of just when you think about how good some of these top teams are when we have a D.Va player like TVNT. But we are going to have an interview. It's going to be simple doing the interview here. I'm interested to see what he has to say about the match.
네, 트위스트 마인드가 결승으로 진출합니다. 승리 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
네, 승리 축하드립니다. 오늘의 POTM은 TVNT 선수가 받았지만 여러 선수들의 이야기를 좀 더 듣기 위해서 심플 선수를 모시게 됐는데요. 패패승승승으로 또 무서운 집중력을 보여주면서 이렇게 결승까지 진출하게 됐습니다. 자, 경기를 뒤집은 비결도 궁금하고 또 오늘 초반에 경기력 힘들었는데 어떻게 풀어가는지도 이야기 듣고 싶거든요. 어땠나요?
Although TVNT is the player of the match,
쟤네가 새로 나온
we can talk to Simple here. What were your thoughts on today's match, Simple? And how did it go?
힘들었는데 그래도 저희 팀이 멘탈이 좋아가지고 잘 해냈던 것 같습니다.
네, 결국 마지막에 웃었던 건 트와였습니다. 팀
Simple
분위기가
responding.
굉장히 좋더라고요.
It was pretty tough to handle all the new heroes. It's pretty new to us, but felt great to win and get that comeback.
TVNT가 잘하는 것 같아요.
TVNT 선수 어제 인터뷰할 때도 굉장히 유쾌했는데 이렇게 또
And the follow-up question,
또 밝게 만들어주는 재주가 있나 봅니다.
which player sets the tone for the team? You know, who's the leader, perhaps the vibes, the leader for this squad?
같은 포지션으로 게임을 또 만들어줬고요. 딜러라이도 안정적인 퍼포먼스
Simple responding, TVNT, he's the one that lifts the team's spirits. Definitely keep the momentum up for us mentally when we're in game.
월드 파이널 이후에 또 금에 환영을 한 심플 선수기도 하죠. 오랜만에 한국 팬분들 마주하게 됐는데요. 팬분들께도 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
해외나 국내나 보러 와주셔서 감사합니다.
And then another question here for Simple Bean. And do you have any word to the Korean fans in particular?
크레이지 라쿤과의 경기가 예정돼 있는데요.
Simple responding, thank you for your support, whether from abroad or in Korea.
경기를 펼치게 될지
Humble,
각오 한마디 들어봐도
but a humble
될까요?
competitor there. Remembering the world exists. That for him.
다음 경기도 이기겠습니다.
크레이지 라쿤 기대하셔도
And then to Simple, how are you feeling about the showdown coming up with Crazy Raccoon? Simple saying, we are definitely going to win that game. So the confidence very high here for Twisted Mind.
And they should feel that way as well. And we're going to take a break now. Come back with a show match in the grand finals after that. See you soon.
Yeah. Trace point. Nice. Nice. I swear to you, I swear to you.
better yet? We'll show them a trick or two.
Let the kitsune guide you.
Supernova ready! Greetings, Earthlings! Come closer. I won't bite.
Boom! I'm feeling it!
Prove your skill.
I'm in the groove.
Be uplifted.
Incredibile.
Victory is at hand.
That will in orbit. Nice try.
F it up.
Magnifique.
How do I look? Oh,
Oh, yes. Yeah. All right.
The world has changed. A new enemy has risen.
The power of Talon, now under my control.
This is a fight we cannot lose.
The war is here.
Let's fight fire with fire. My training is over. Who wants to feel the heat? I do enjoy a hostile takeover.
Time to show them what we're made of.
Can't live without me? I'm getting into this.
Anyone can make a difference.
The choice is yours. Resistance is pointless. Talon is everywhere.
your divine support has arrived.
I have landed among the stars.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Victory
will be ours.
Up. You can't break free. Where are you going?
Domina has arrived.
Got you covered. Good shot, right?
Enemies coming in hot. Can someone heal me? Damn it!
Disgraceful.
Rise from the ashes!
Come on.
Feeling warm yet? Such a bull.
Too easy.
Who's a pretty kitty? You are.
getting late here in Korea for the OWCS boot camp, but before we head into the grand finals, we're going to take you through a fun little show match here. Jetpack team deathmatch between all of our support professional players here at the boot camp.
Well, technically, not all of them, because we're not going to be having everyone from the currently competing teams playing. It's going to be only the eliminated guys playing here, and Team Neong here with Links of Bliss, Maka, Chio, and Slay competing here.
This is the,
and there are some special rules as well, aren't there, Avril?
They are. We're going to be going to 15 kills. I mean, it's team deathmatch, right? So just going up to 15 kills. I believe the first to 15 will take it. But you know what, Avas? I think this is the type of event that if we were still in the Overwatch League, you'd probably be playing one of these.
Well, I mean, considering that they put me in one of these at Stockholm, and I wasn't playing, I might be in it regardless. I had heard very last second as well. So, but you know, came in, played with Zoro, won, and Hawk won. Actually, Hawk wasn't. No, he was. Yeah, he was on my team. I got Hawk. I had Rack. It was a very good showing for me. All things
Boston
considered.
gets
This
eliminated.
is going to be the
Huck's like, Vas, you're in, buddy. This is your time. I'm putting our faith in you.
I mean, as they should. As they should. I was a legend of the sport, still am. And this is Team Meow with Vega, FD God, Lep, TJ, and Fixa. You can feel the aura. Maybe Vega, hopefully, can calm with this team this time. That's going to be our secondary show match team here.
That. Well, he swapped the position. He's not sitting in the same spot. It's Lep now that's going to be in that spot. But hopefully that's not the cursed position to be in. Vega, who was, man, if Liquid won, I think Vega probably would have been player of the match for that one. So, real shame given how close that series was, but a good showing across this entire weekend so far in terms of the capabilities we've seen from players on these new heroes. But I think Cat has been one of the heroes that's certainly stolen the show for a few of the standouts out there. Domino obviously being played a lot. And second to Domino in playtime, well, it has to be Jetpack Cat.
100%. Jetpack Cat has really transformed the landscape a bit, and having a hero with that much mobility and utility is very, very strong. Definitely a little bit behind Domina here, but we're going to be getting into the show match now. Team Neong versus Team Meow. And Avril, I know that this is going to be really informing my opinion, I think, moving forward about how I feel about Jetpack Cat.
And they can carry each other to battles. Oh, this is going to get really wild when the ultimates start showing up.
Oh, it will. It's going to be like a
by the way,
meteor shower.
how are you even going to hit the opponent when they're permanently in the air? Right?
I mean, that is a really good question, but I mean,
dude, this looks like a space battle. This looks like a sci-fi space battle.
I was actually going to say it looks like my porch when I put up a light, an LED light, all the gnats.
Oh right, not all the neighborhood cats, all the federal cats in your neighborhood don't show up like this, right?
No, I mean, well, the gnats do, which sounds like cats. Really, the current question, I mean, look at the dogfight happening here. We have a bit of a distance. I'm expecting here to see some coordination. I mean, look at the space battle occurring in the air right now.
That's what I'm saying.
This is going to be very interesting.
It's looking like the opening of Star Wars Episode 3, you know what I'm saying? Just Anakin, get in there, please. They're trying to go for some of these melees as well. We're getting feisty now.
And a secondary problem, too, is that they have to deal the damage and then somehow commit and finish the damage before it's healed by the...
And everyone can heal each other and themselves. So,
and there's an AoE heal as well. There's also an AoE heal right there. They commit on the Vega. They're trying to find someone. They aren't going to get it just yet.
The first kill might just win because we might run out of time. Genuinely, there's 8 minutes 30 left. If no one kills each other, there it is. Bliss got fixed, so that's probably it. That might be the GG's.
Trades occurring here. Vega, though, with another Vega on the cat again. Being the hero, Fixa